Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in to another What Else Is Going On episode. Y'all, if y'all are not on YouTube, then you don't know who I have sitting in front of me. If you are on YouTube, you know y'all love her. Y'all still be listening to her episode because I can see the numbers on YouTube. She is funny, smart, is gonna love when I meet her in person and hug her around her neck. She probably gonna cuss me out later for that. She is an author. She has lived 1,000 lives. We were just talking. Y'all know she has been here before. Give it up for my girl, Keisha Irvin, aka Color Me Pink.
Hi guys, I'm back.
I just have to tell you, I was listening to, actually, Jamie, that's me. And it was a couple of weeks ago, and I meant to text you. She was asking for book recommendations, and she was talking about your books and said, oh, I've read Color Me Pink's books. I loved her books. And I was like, my worlds are colliding. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So I love that. So welcome back. How have you been?
Thank you. I have been good. I'm currently on a hiatus for a week. I'm gearing up for a lot of content to drop next month for April, and I'm redecorating my living room and my entryway, girl. I can't wait for y'all to see it. It's so good.
I loved your closet review. I love how you rolled everything out.
Thank you.
When you said that you were on a hiatus, I started to send you not needed strongly worded text to be like, I know what you don't mean is that you're on hiatus from recording with other people. But I was like, nah.
No,
she would have told me.
No.
So I told Keisha that I was going to tell her on the camera, on the recording. I was listening. The only thing is now I'm about to forget if it was Atlanta or Married to Medicine. I feel like it was Married to Medicine. Y'all, when we watch Keisha's videos, 90% of the time we get Color Me Pink. And then there are some times when y'all piss her off in the comments. And Keisha comes out. And Keisha came out on one of them videos. And when I tell you, I probably hit the back button a few times because she gave y'all the lashing of your life, and I loved every minute of it. And then said, now, that was Keisha. I'm Color Me Pink. So anyway, y'all, I said, get them together. I actually said I was going to clip it and with your permission to insert it in my videos when I start getting crazy.
You ain't the first person. Scotty did that years ago and used it as his warning to his audience. Go right ahead, girl. Go right ahead.
I said, if she didn't say it perfectly, you got comfortable in your chair. You said,
I sure did. They get on my nerves sometimes, child.
Yes. I had to tell somebody didn't like the way I did a recap. Not even my opinion, which is still my opinion, but I can give you a little bit. You want to kind of go back and forth and say, oh, well, what about such and such? But to come tell me how I do it, you don't like it? Who am I? That's like me coming to your content saying, Keisha, I don't like that you do your review and you sit in your chair looking to the left. Like, who does that?
Right. Like, I don't come on your job and tell you how to do it. Like, you're here for a reason. If you don't like what I do, then log off, go somewhere else.
Find another creator. And I said, I think what people don't get is if you don't like it this way, 19 people like it the other way, and another 15 like it a different way. So who would you suggest I listen to?
Thank you.
So keep it to yourself if you like the content. I'm sure we both watch creators that we may love, but sometimes you're like, here they go again. But you just roll with it because that's who you love. So
because we don't have to agree with everything that we see somebody else say. It's that simple, people. It's that simple. And I've made it clear on my channel. This is not the channel where you're going to come up here and tell people they're wrong about their opinions, especially me on my channel. Like, are you crazy? And you're not going to do it to the T-Squad. You're not. And I read the comments, so I will clearly hide user from channel. So you'll be able to see everything. And you think you type in a comment, but it ain't showing up. Like, you're dumb. It's like,
I loved when that feature came out on Instagram. Restrict.
Loved it.
You won't say nothing back over here.
Nothing.
Yes, I'm enjoying. Dr. Heavenly has made Married to Medicine unwatchable for me. And that pisses me off because that used to be one of my favorite shows outside of Atlanta. And I cannot stand the way her things kind of get pushed aside, like, oh, that's just Heavenly. It annoys me because they don't say that's just Toya, that's just Simone, that's just Jackie. I have to say that I love how I feel like you are very fair.
Yes.
When it comes to that, and it's specifically when it comes to Sweet Tea, because I'm finding that I think, we always say we want to start at the beginning and not in the middle, but when it comes to Sweet Tea, I feel like people start in the middle sometimes and forget, they say, why would she think she could come on a show and take Quad's friends? I don't think she thought that, which is why she turned down the show the first time. And then they kept pursuing her. So in her mind, I know that people may say that's naive, and maybe I'll give them that naive, but why wouldn't she think they were still going to be her friends after the fact? So I appreciate your comments.
And not even just production pursued her. I think what really made her decide to do the show is when she started building a relationship with Heavenly and Simone.
That's who I was talking about, not even production. I was talking about them, yeah.
Like, they made her feel comfortable. Like, girl, we got you. Got her on a show just to use her to get Quad back on the show to give her a storyline, more so Heavenly than I think Simone. But Dr. Heavenly literally just said last week that she was used as a pawn. And I'm like, how could you feel comfortable as a person? Let's just take the reality TV shtick out of it. Like, as a person, morally, you feel okay saying you use somebody
as a pawn? When you want to turn around and say we need to uplift Black women, I get the reality. People fight, people argue. So that part don't bother me. But to purposely know how that could affect someone, because you went further than just using her as a pawn. You talked about this woman's fertility online over and over again. You called her husband a pedo file. So you went much further than just using her as a pawn. You turned on her.
Yeah. It's nasty work. And I just literally said in my review this week that I hope that she and whoever else was involved in it know that karma is coming for you. We might not never know about it, but it's coming for you. And I rue the day, because God gonna spank y'all. Y'all take this reality stuff too far. Like, how important is it for ratings and for a job that y'all really, honestly, truly don't need at this point? Like, y'all doing all of this nasty, dirty work, and for what? Like, using people for ratings or to help your friend get a job back, and then y'all want to all band together now to push her out and ice her out and paint her as being this aggressive, uncontrollable person is wild to me. Yeah. And it pissed me off on this week's episode of the reunion when Simone got up out of her seat and went over there and kneeled down in front of her.
Girl.
Telling her to calm down. And she was talking even tone, wasn't yelling or anything. Toya had been coming for her as soon as they sat down, which is weird, because what did she do to you?
Yes.
What did she do to you? I really feel like they all got together, and Toya and Simone and Contessa are the last ones that were still cool with Sweet Tea. And I think that they knew Simone wasn't going to go after her. Contessa, of course, wasn't going to go after her because she's not in on that. And I think that Toya was used as the person to really go at her at this reunion, because what has she done to you? Absolutely nothing for you to be going this hard. She was going harder on her than Heavenly and Quad was. It was so random and so weird. And it really made me look at Toya differently, because I didn't like Toya for years. It wasn't up until the last couple of seasons where she had changed. She had become like the glue keeping everybody together, the level-headed one, the fair one. And then she flipped back into Toya again. And it was just weird. And I was just disgusted by everything that was going on. And I have behind the scenes tea that I have been told. And
you see my eyes.
They're disgusting. They're disgusting.
About things that they tried to do to Sweet Tea.
Yeah.
See that, and I hear people say, "Well, if it wasn't for Quad, Sweet Tea and Greg wouldn't have a storyline." And I'm like, that works the same way though. Dr. Heavenly has admitted that Quad was not filming last season, was not going to have a job. And I put a caveat on Dr. Heavenly said, because me personally, I feel like I question everything she says because nothing is ever from the source. It's always what she heard. But she has clearly said she brought Sweet Tea on because Quad needed a job. Quad put herself in a casket, was willing to get in a casket to create a moment. So if Sweet Tea and Greg need Quad, Quad also needed Greg and Sweet Tea. They needed each other for a storyline. Let's be clear. It wasn't just one without the other.
Yeah, because if Quad wouldn't have returned, she still had a storyline her first season. She was getting married.
Right.
She was marrying an older man. She was marrying somebody that y'all already had a relationship with. She's a twin. She was in the military. Like, she had a storyline without Quad even being there. And let's not forget once again that this whole tension between her and Quad started via Quad showing up at her bridal event on camera. You didn't have to do that. Nobody put a pow to your head to make you go and do that. You chose to do that. You chose to come in on the wrong foot with this young lady. Yep. And it all went downhill from there. But now they're trying to paint it like she's crazy. She's doing too much. She's the one that has been going after Quad. And the whole thing is just ridiculous. It really honestly is. Like, the show has plummeted for me.
It has. Oh, Keisha, the levels that they will go to. Why would you bring Apollo? I don't care if Phaedra knew that he was coming. Why was he a thought in the first place? Just to get something started. And going back to what you said, y'all talk about you don't need the show. Y'all make all this money. Y'all got money. So you're willing to go to the depths of hell to keep a show going and then blame it on the viewers and say y'all like drama. Like, it has gone so far for me. Even Sweet Tea and her trying to have a child, if it's married to medicine, we could have got some medical out of it. Watched her try different treatments. This is
what Jackie does for a living. She is the grand dame of the OBGYN. Let her tell it. You could have really went in and shown all the measures of how you can help facilitate this woman having a baby.
Yeah.
And we got to see, I didn't even remember until this past week's episode on Atlanta that she had that in vitro fertilization. Didn't even remember that.
Right.
She could have introduced that.
Yep.
All of the other things that she's learned, how they were just promoting, what was it, 2 seasons ago, about how Black women aren't listened to in hospitals and giving birth. So much could have been done.
Yeah.
So much could have been done, but Jackie uses Heavenly as her mouthpiece and likes to run in behind her. And Jackie is one of the most conniving people on this show.
Come on. From day, I'm sorry, season one, I could not say. The way she talks about women's weight, calling them fat. Remember when Dr. Heavenly said, everybody don't want to be shaped like a little boy? Like, come on, let's not act like you didn't tell Dr. Heavenly you deal with teeth as if that's better than, as if that's less than what you do. Like, I just, the way that they could have read Jackie so many times, but I guess because of their respect for whatever reason.
But let's talk about Jackie real quick and her own fertility issues. Let's not forget how years ago she wanted to have a baby and how Curtis said no. Do you remember, not this past Med Gala, but last season's Med Gala? And did you see the photos of who Jackie came with? The 2 young Black guys?
Yes. The ones that are supposed to be his quote unquote sons, but not sons.
They quote unquote adopted them into their family.
Yes. He wouldn't even let her adopt before.
Why aren't we talking about that, Jackie? Why isn't that a part of your storyline, that y'all have brought these 2 young men into your family and you're helping guide them, or whatever the case may be? Why aren't we talking about that?
That's right.
That is a huge part of your story. Huge.
That's right.
Because I would, at first I was like, who was these dudes that she bring when she called them her sons? And then I got verbatim tea from a reliable source that, yeah, they've adopted these two young men. Mm-hmm. Exclusive. I came ready today. I haven't even shared that on my own channel.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yet we've seen none of that.
No, didn't mention it at all. Nope. None of them had storylines this season if you paid attention.
Not a one. Not no one. We're having birthday parties for Birkins or baby showers.
None of them.
Which would have been cute if it had been like a filler type episode and not like,
no, that was an episode.
Yeah.
That was an episode. This season wouldn't have been what it was if it wasn't for Quad and Gregory and Letitia. Gotta give it due diligence. It was them that carried this season. Without them, there would not have been a season.
I do wonder if Quad is prepared because baby and Dr. Mimi, if you come back next season.
I don't like her.
Girl, I don't like the switch up. I do know that for me, watching the amount of clips that they put out on Instagram, is the whole episode broken up pretty much. She was praying and all of that with Sweet Tea and don't let them come in between your union. And then there seems to have been a switch up that was done. But then I think about what Letitia said on her. Mm-hmm. They were asking her questions and she said that basically they wanted to set her up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They gonna come out like, you think that they're not gonna come after you next season?
Yeah. Yep. Everything that she said in that video, I've heard that is actually what happened behind the scenes, that they were going to have her go to Dr. Mimi's office and they were going to paint her as being crazy. And when she refused and said she was going to, do things her own way, that's when Dr. Mimi started to switch up on her too, because she going along to get along. So that's why at that scene with her and Toya and Mimi, she was talking to her like she was a psychiatrist and not just a girlfriend. I was like, what is going on?
Yes.
So instead of them being in her office, they did it there to her. And that's why you saw Toya saying, because it was so weird the way Toya was responding,
talking to her.
If I got to choose, it won't be this friendship or what. Like, I'm like, huh?
It almost felt like they were provoking her, because I saw that like they were.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because that's when you saw Toya started to switch up on her.
And what's crazy to me is if they're calling her responses aggressive, this is what I hated about what people say about Candace on Potomac. You keep saying Sweet Teas or their responses are volatile. How about y'all stop coming for them? Because you can't dictate how. And I imagine for Sweet Tea, she's getting it from both ends. They can say, ignore the comments, ignore this, ignore. She's getting it from the viewers. She's getting it from the cast. Despite what you feel, there seems to be a push and pull with her and Gregory. So like she's getting it from everywhere. And you think this lady is just supposed to sit back, and they've been stunning her since she came on the show, and she's not supposed to respond to y'all, because she actually handled them better than a lot of people, I feel like, including me at some points, because I would have been y'all would have been like,
if it was Toya, it would have been a physical fight, because she's had two.
Yes,
physical altercations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then her and Quad almost had one at the repass last season.
No, her and Quad almost, Quad and Toya, Sweet Tea also almost had a physical altercation doing the cowboy trip.
Oh, yes.
She was walking up to her trying to bump her in the chest and stuff like that.
And they didn't show it, right?
Mm-mm. But they're not going to show that.
Because that would show Quad in a bad light and not Sweet Tea in a good light.
Mm-hmm.
That is so crazy. I refuse to believe. I watched Sweet Tea and Contessa on Sweet Tea's YouTube, and I said, we got more medicine in that episode than we did, and I don't know how many the past seasons, other than the Met Gala. And I will say this, no matter what you think about Phaedra was on point when she said she was helping. Basically, Jackie was throwing this Met Gala to revamp her image. And the way Andy protected her at that reunion, and we barely touched on it last season about what she said.
They never do. They never hold Jackie accountable because Jackie is in with the company. I knew that Jackie was in when she put that book out under Andy's publishing. I was like, oh yeah, she's really in there. And when they kept on promoting that skin treatment stuff,
yes,
they was promoting that heavily with commercials and everything. I said, oh, she's in there with the company.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, she's their golden girl, the face of Married to Medicine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their doctor.
They're gonna forever protect her.
Oh. There's something about, and I said the way the demeaning way, it's her demeanor that comes off so demeaning.
That's why That's why I call her Groot.
Yeah, you do.
She built just like an oak tree. I can't stand her. I need for somebody to hack her ass down and chip her into pieces and make her into a pencil. She irks my soul. She really does. I always want to talk about somebody and her whole chest look like limbs. You just see bone, 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 bone. Ugh, girl. Oh, I would eat her.
A pencil.
Oh, she irks my soul. She really does. It's the high and mighty hoity-toityness of it all.
Yes.
It's like, Jackie, have you looked at yourself lately? If you don't go eat a hamburger, girl.
But I said the way she comes at these women for their bodies as if there is not such a thing as being underweight. And some people are happy with their bodies. There is such a thing as being healthy and being a bigger person.
Yes.
So that to me, that's what would just drive me. Like all these years she would do the exercise thing. Like, let these women just live.
Exactly.
Or speaking of Atlanta, I'm going to flip on over. I'm going to say we're going to go a few streets down to the Peaches.
I know one thing we got to talk about today is that Beverly Hills, because last night.
I'm saving that. We're saving the best for last.
Boiling. Okay.
Oh,
great.
I'm ready to put on some Timbs and go. Girl. Erica, I have a message for you. You're not like us as much as you think you're. Okay, I'm saying the best for last. Okay,
girl, just wait.
Okay, so we get ready to go a couple streets over down to the Peaches. From your first. No, let's play a game. I'm gonna say the wife. You say the first thing.
Oh God!
The first. Sure? Yes, and ain't nothing centered over here. Now I'm writing all the wives down right now so I don't forget them. I don't forget anyone. And I'm even going to add the friends of. Hold on. And I want all of it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Okay. All right. I'm going to start with Kenya.
Legendary.
I love that. Cynthia.
Peacemaker.
Okay. Drew.
Fraud.
Britt.
Ho. Or prostitution
whore. Shamina.
Loving her.
Angela.
Hee. Ow.
Good night. I'm hanging up the phone.
Centipede.
I'm hanging up this call. They're gonna be like, "What happened? Recording stopped." Ain't that what this is? Porsha.
Ooh, nobody cares.
I got one more extra one. Miss Diane, Porsha's mama.
Oh ho. Top hoe. Bottom bitch hoe. Yeah. The queen of hoes. OG hoe. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Gotta be on with it.
Kelly,
short and stout.
Like the teapot.
Mighty Mouse. I like her. I like
I
her
like
though.
I like her too. There's something about Kelly that makes me feel like if we went to Atlanta and met her, we would get the Kelly that we see on
TV. I don't think that she's pretending or putting on airs. Yeah, I think that she's a fun girl. I do think she, got a look, in her, but so far so good.
Yeah, I think so. When she said I have different personality or something, you have different men, I said, well, okay then, all right.
Yeah. Now, one thing I will say, she did downplay the situation of Porsha
at the lunch.
Yeah.
Because the way she said, Shamia told me to come back and ask you, it was two things going on. I felt like, Porsha, you should know. Shamia didn't say, go ask Porsha. Your friend was probably saying, hey, you need to talk to her. I wish Kelly would have been like, I brought it up. And she said, if I wanted to know anything, I needed to ask you because she didn't want to be in the middle of it.
Right.
I will say I was glad that she didn't all the way backpedal. And I got the sense, this is a newbie. Porsha's come back thinking it's my show, that ordinary. Because for some reason, did Porsha reach out to her? Or how did that meeting come about? Because I immediately thought,
I don't remember.
See, me neither.
Remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
But I felt like the reason Porsha was so open to it was because Kelly was the only one bringing it up. And if she could get her to hush.
Oh, yeah, of
she would be good. Because I was like,
she don't want to talk about that. That's why she didn't come back last season.
And I felt like Porsha would show way too many teeth with Kelly laughing at stuff that wasn't even funny. It seemed kind of forced.
Very much so. But even with that being said, when Kelly was like, I was just asking, we just wanted to know, she was downplaying it. You were being shady, girl. You made a shady comment. Stand on that. You was being funny.
Yeah, like
okay. Because why did you take that lady husband?
Yeah, it would have been good. But since we're talking about it, can I get an answer?
Exactly. But that scene set it up for me that Porsha used that moment to have a reason to get into it with Shamia.
Yes, and because she took that back to her mom, and Miss Diane, you have known Shamia for over 20 years. It seems like I'm going by age. Portia's what? Yeah. I think she's my age, 40. Of her and Shamia are the same age. Yeah, they've known each other since high school for over 20 years. For her to not, her first thought not be, are you sure Shamia meant it that way, Porsha? Maybe I would trust Shamia over somebody new, even if she went. But for her to say, I've known Shamia since high school and like question her, I was like, Miss Diane is the type of mom, and I used to work with a girl just like this, and that's why she could never see her wrong and stuff, whose mom would say, they're just jealous of you. They're just jealous of you. She reminds me of one of those moms. It's never Portia's fault. It's never their fault.
And see, this is what I said on my review this week. I said that I felt like it was a situation. I said it could be one or two things. Either it's what you said that Miss Diane never really kind of saw it for Shamia all this time and used the opportunity to point that out to her daughter, or, which is what I think, is that after that lunch with Kelly, Porsha made it up in her head that she was going to use this as a moment to have an issue with Shamia because she didn't want Shamia on this show.
Come on.
Let's just keep it a buck as a peach holder. It was fine when she was just a friend of Poppy in here and there, but now you're a peach holder and now you are here on my turf. This was my thing. And so I think that she went and told her mama what was said and took it to her mama like, I can't believe she up here trying to start stuff with me with these girls. She being funny. I can already see how this gear to go. She set me up, and she used her mother. Her and her mama knew what the lay of the land was, and they used that scene to set it up. So it could seem like Portia's innocent and her mama was the one that put the bug in her ear. So maybe it gotta be true. You know, that's how she liked to play the bad.
Oh, that is good. So
she loves playing the role. So now she's gonna go into the season with, you tried to start this with these girls. My mom told me to look out for you. I can't trust anybody, because let's let's be honest. She already told on herself in the first episode when she got into it. Episode 2, when she got into it with Dennis and said, if you bring anybody on this show to film with you, it's going to be a problem. She already said she didn't want him to film on the show. So if you don't want your baby daddy even film on the show outside of you, why would you want your best friend to come on the show and be on the same level as you? Because like I said in my video, what does Porsha have going on for herself?
Right.
I'll wait. Nothing. She has only this show. She has been jealous of Shamia, and she made that evident years ago when Shamia got married, and she didn't go to her wedding. She didn't want to fly over there for the events and everything. She was acting so stank to that girl.
Yes.
That was the same season she let Phaedra talk to her any kind of way, and it's supposed to be your best friend. Your best friend. So Shamia marries the rich African. Shamia has the big, beautiful house. Shamia has the kids. Shamia has the entertainment career that she always wanted. Yeah. Shamia has the singing career that she always wanted. Now she has the peach, and now she's the center of the show on my show, like she likes to say it this season.
Yes.
My show. So, we're not about to do this. We're not about to have this. No. This is her thing. She came back feeling like this gonna be my season. Me and Kate, the OGs, we about to run this. And then here goes Shamia being the central nucleus that they have built everything around. It's the reason why she showed up to that girl birthday party late. She wasn't late because she was still getting her. She was late because she didn't give a damn to be on time.
Because you would have left earlier, got your make if you know how traffic is. Because people were saying, yeah, traffic is bad. But if you're a resident there, you know that.
Friend, she was on time for the Boseman event.
Oh, and that's even after her makeup and hair wasn't on time. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. The marriage failed to her African. She tried to get married an African just like Shamia, and it failed. She had the big house, can't film in it, can only film outside. Everything was falling down around her. And now my baby daddy filming with Drew.
I always think about that scene that you mentioned with Porsha sitting with Phaedra and Sheree. And it was bad enough when Phaedra said, they're doing it, and they thought the cameras weren't there. It would be bad enough if she sat there and didn't say anything. But I've recently watched that scene like 2 or 3 times. But she said, she didn't just sit there. She said, she is close to both of them.
Yeah, she never been their girlfriend. Like, never. Ever.
And most of the times that we've seen Shamia, like Candy's the one that actually was bringing her on the most.
And Candy was the one that got her the peach this season. Yes. It's never been Porsha trying to push her to be on this show. And look what we've been missing this whole time, because Shamia is excellent.
Yes.
Excellent as a peach holder.
I think, did you watch Candy speak on it with Shamia? No. It was right before the season aired. Shamia said something that pinged my ears. Candy said, what was it like? Or what, I'm paraphrasing, but basically, what was your discussion like with Porsha when you told her that you were going to
be on the show?
Show? She said, when I text her, she was like, I'm excited for you. This will be great for you. It was very blah. And I was shocked. And I knew then, oh yeah, it ain't like, when I text her, I don't even think she let her know she was going through the process. So it was like, when I text her, I got it. It was like, and if she did know she was going through the process, it wasn't like almost seemed like when it became reels when she texted her. Like she definitely texted her to let her know she got it. But because I'm trying to remember exactly what she said about going through the process. But basically it was Candy. It was Candy that was coaching her. This is what you need to do. Don't look out for this. Don't pay attention to this. All of this stuff.
Yep.
But this is supposed to be it.
Yeah. And so to now know that they have fallen out, we now know where it all stems from. This whole thing with the Kelly situation is where that ball gets to rolling.
Yeah, and they were set. She lined it up. Porsha thinks that she lined it up perfectly. And for me, when you go back to Porsha's family matters, when they were in Mexico, as Dennis said, what really struck me, Porsha didn't bank on her family being honest to the producers. Remember when they got into that big brawl, and then the producers were asking them what happened, and her aunt and her cousin that passed away said Porsha called us and said not to talk about it. And then when the same producer asked Porsha, she said, "My family likes to sweep things under the rug. I don't know why they won't talk about it." I said,
She's a liar.
I straight up, like, I wasn't ignorant of her ways. You just be like, "Oh, here we go." But that right there, I was like, it's one thing if you had said, "We're not talking about it." You lied on your family after they did what you told them to do.
Yep. And what was so fascinating to me is I've always, when her and Kenya joined the show, I always have been a Kenya fan. I never really cared for Porsha because I always saw through her shenanigans since season 1 of her being on the show. And, she had the viewers' backs. I mean, the viewers had her back for years, vilifying Kenya and all these things. And then when Porsha really truly revealed who she was, when she did what she did with Fallon, and then ran with her tail tucked between her legs, and we got to see Kenya on the show. Well, they got to see Kenya on the show outside of Porsha being there, and everybody's views towards Kenya changed.
Yeah,
and they realized, damn, Kenya wasn't a problem. Damn, she was lying on Kenya. Phaedra lied on everything that these people had came after Kenya for throughout the years. They ended up telling on themselves and being revealed as liars and ish starters and this, that, and the third. Yeah. And everything that they put on her was actually things about themselves, which was crazy to me. And so now to see that the two besties on the show, Kelly and Britt, who had literally just
right.
And Shamia and Porsha, now they've switched friends. Girl.
And I said, now we know that sometimes people aren't talking about, like if I say, Keisha, you out all night long, who's taking care of your son? Technically, I'm not talking about your child. I'm talking about your parenting. But we know how people like to say, "Oh, you're talking about my child." Mm-hmm. I want to know if we'll see on the show what Britt said in regards to Shamia's daughter, because and there's no world where I see myself, if me and you are friends and we had a falling out, I don't see myself in a world where I am sniggling and giggling with the person who said something about your child, especially if your child has health issues. I knew something. I said it in one of my videos last week before Porsha dropped those pictures. I said, Porsha was under Britt's comments. And I said, something in my spirit is like, I think it's for show for Porsha. And I was like, Britt, you better watch out. Because Porsha needs somebody on her team.
Of course. Because who else is she cool with on the show? Right. Her and Kelly don't get along. Her and Shamia don't get along. Kenya is not there to film. Cynthia is a friend of. Her and Angela Oakley don't get along. She only had Britt. She only has Britt at this point. But remember, this is the same person that played dumb to the whole Phaedra situation of it all. Right. I didn't know. She told me. Girl, you knew exactly what was going on with that whole Candy Dungeon situation. You knew dang on well that lady wasn't trying to drug you and rape. Girl, stop.
And not only that, I say people get jumped down Phaedra's throat. Fair. But Portia's the one that actually said it on camera.
He got away scot-free with that whole mess. And I brought that up to say that she's going to, at the reunion, when that whole situation comes up with whatever this girl said about Shiloh, she's gonna play it the dumb. I wasn't there, so I didn't know she really said that. She's gonna play stupid. Watch. She gonna play dumb, because I bet you it's a situation where she wasn't there or she wasn't right there when it was said. So I don't know. I'm just going back with that. She like to play stupid.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be her MO. Watch what I tell you. She gonna play dumb,
like she didn't know what was going on.
Yep.
And another thing, when you were talking about her showing up late to the party, when she said that production told her not to walk up to Porsha, and Porsha said out of her own mouth on the Breakfast Club, production told her not to go, but she said no, but that's my best friend.
But that's your best friend. You would have been there on time.
And if you were late, you would have waited till she had her moment.
Moment.
If it didn't dawn on you, production saying it then should have clicked something in your brain like, oh yeah, let me wait.
And you knew there was some BS because Shamia looked at her and said, okay, like, move.
Yeah.
This my best friend. We got us. We ain't got nothing, girl.
This is how we do. I would love to know what Gerald thinks of Porsha, Shamia's husband.
Probably be looking at her like, girl, okay.
Yeah. I would love to know. I would respect Porsha with the Simon stuff a little bit more if she said, look, everybody want to know what's going on. Look.
Thank you.
I'm y'all may say I was wrong. I met somebody, I fell in love, and it just didn't work out. My bad. Like, honestly, even if she said what it was.
Exactly. People may not like that. She was just on the show. I liked her man when they broke up, and I shot my shot and I got with him and it didn't work out. Boom, bow.
Then nobody can say anything to you.
Exactly. But she'll never admit it. She'll never admit it. Mm-mm.
And one thing about Miss Diane, when she was saying, we thought he was your protector, to me, protection equals money to them. Exactly. That's what you were talking about.
Girl, they both amping it up for this show because you didn't bit more think that man was no dang on protector. She went to where she thought the money resided. And then she got there and realized that the world was telling her right, that this man was a scammer and that the money was not there.
I just
stop.
What I want to happen now, because do you think that Kenya, have you seen, so when Porsha dropped the pictures of her and Britt, Kenya posted Trader on her stories?
Mm-hmm.
I need now for Kenya to come back next season because
was definitely coming back next season. Okay. Yeah, that's that whole thing. When that whole thing happened or whatever, I knew. I was like, she coming back next season. I didn't blame her. She chose not to come back after she was suspended. She still could have came back this past season. She chose not to. And I wouldn't have either. Because if I'm telling y'all that this girl allegedly threatened me, and I've been with this network for how many years, brought y'all how many millions of dollars in ratings, and y'all don't have my back, I'm going to feel some type of way about that.
Yeah.
And she even said that during that time, Andy was one of the people that was there for her the most.
Oh, yeah, she did say that. Yeah, she did.
And she also said months ago, I will be vindicated and y'all will see. And we are already seeing that girl had a hard on for her from day one. I don't know if you saw the video that I put out where I had to slow it down to show the slow folks in the back.
Yes.
The girl spoke to her, not once, but twice, and told her she was beautiful. And you saw the look on her face as soon as she didn't air kiss her.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
She wanted a moment with her. She wanted to have an issue with her. I feel like they both made a plan, her and old girl, to come in going after the OGs.
Oh,
going to go after Porsha, and she was going to go after Kenya.
Right, I could see that
because you've been harping on. You see how she was talking about my ring, and bitch. Anybody with a brain would have asked you, "Oh, are you married?" Because you only had on an engagement ring.
Thank you.
Dumb. You don't even know the etiquette.
Is it just our age group? Because is it for 10? My ring got lost. So for 10 years, I didn't have a ring. Corey had a ring. I would be like, just get me a band. Just get me a band. He wouldn't just get me a plain band. I ended up getting, flash forward, a solitaire. And even now I say, I need to get me a band because people are going to think I'm just engaged. And then I'll get out of my own head and be like, girl, you know you're married. But the point is, it was a natural thing for me. So I was like, is it our age group? Then that only thinks because I got where Kenya was saying.
Don't know what marriage really is supposed to be. Like, she was asking a question. She wasn't even being funny.
No, like
I took that and ran with it because you thought I got a 10-carat ring on my finger. But let's talk about that. You talking and bragging about how you got a 10-carat ring on your finger and how you was a video vixen in high school, which is weird and gross. Where were your parents? And how you were in adult men's magazines in high school. Weird. But then when your father passed, y'all had to get a GoFundMe. You ain't no bad bitch. What are you? You a poor bitch. What the fuck are you talking about?
And it goes to show, because I said, we have life insurance right now. So if Corey had to change jobs, and God forbid, before he changed jobs, something happened, I'm still going to get the life insurance because I'm paying for it monthly. So to use that your husband was changing jobs.
No, her father.
I mean, your father was changing jobs. That's irrelevant. That just,
I didn't understand that neither.
Unless she said he was changing jobs and they didn't have the money to keep the policy going. Was it through your job? Was the insurance through other life insurance had to be through his job? And then when he lost, had to be. Because I'm like,
that didn't make any sense. She's just weird.
Yeah.
Weird. And we're going to see on next week's episode how the thing between her and Kenya really escalates. Because this is, I guess, the scene where she allegedly threatened her that she'll shoot her or whatever.
And I don't like casual B word. If I don't know you, don't just be calling me like, because we see Angela calls her that. And I'm like, I don't like that. For me personally, you don't know me. So what are you calling? Like, we have a problem.
Exactly.
Because Kenya was keeping it light. I am the most.
She was, because it was clear you've been coming for me since I met you, you weirdo. So I'm going to continue to shade you. And she couldn't handle it. I feel like Britt came into the season wanting to have an issue with Kenya and trying to figure out any way to have one. And that's what she took and ran with it. She just wasn't expecting for Kenya to throw a nuclear bomb on her ass. Because then you went from, I'm that bitch, don't play with me, to then I gotta explain to my mom about these photographs of me. Like, but you were just bragging about how you was in magazines and stuff in high school. But now you ashamed of it. Make it make sense.
And your parents didn't know that you were in magazines, because magazines were what was popping back then. So somebody that knows somebody would have seen you and told a mom or a dad.
Thank you.
I mean, were you using that money to pay for your family, or we get ready to find out some other stuff?
Thank you.
Because that scene it wasn't even natural. Like when her and her sister-in-law went downstairs to get the wine, y'all didn't end up, it's not even like y'all were standing at the wine thing selecting wine and the conversation came out. Y'all sat down. But the nephew gave it away when he was like, we're having lobster. Don't you think that's
I said that in my video. I said, this ain't no normal occasion for them. That little boy done told on y'all. He said, don't you think this is pretty fancy? He used to have barbecue when he come over there. Like, I'm like, girl, y'all done already told on y'allself that this ain't what y'all be on.
Y'all didn't prep him. You know, little black children will say anything. Well, even children in general, not even just, but they're going to say anything.
They're going to always tell it.
Yes. And he said it so strong, like
so strong. He was looking like, what the hell is this?
Where is a hamburger? I don't like this.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was a trip. I wanted to, what was the other thing? Oh, I'm glad. I had said, I'm glad that we're seeing this side of Shamia. Like, of course, we don't like to see these women hurt, but to see this vulnerable side of her, because she's always been the light, the fluff, the bubbly, so to see how she has a relationship with her sisters, because there's so many, look at Britt. There's so many of these sisters we see on reality TV that have no relationship.
Yeah.
So to see how her sisters are supporting her and there for her, her mom and dad, even that little short scene that we see in the first episode, like she seems like her family's close. And I like when I see a housewife that's cool, you know, that has people around her.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to point out, which I love that she has her family there for her, but it was mighty telling that Porsha wasn't mentioned at all to help her during that time, because I feel like if it was reversed, she would have been there and present. Now, me and my best friend have been friends since we were 10 years old. I would be remiss if she was going through what she was going through, that I wouldn't be on it. Let me go pick the other baby up from school. You need a babysitter. I'm going to go clean up the house. Porsha wasn't mentioned at all.
Not at all.
And did you see how when she did see the little kids at the event, it was hot. Like they don't even know her for real.
That's other than like maybe parties or whatever.
Yeah,
exactly.
Literally. And I did see Shamia posted a little video yesterday with her and her big girl where they baked cookies at their house and they sang happy birthday to Pilar.
Oh.
Now I don't know if they sent the cookies over there, but they at least filmed the video saying that, well, despite what me and your mama got going on, happy birthday, Pilar.
Yeah, and I could see Shamia doing that, but not Porsha wouldn't do that. Just like when she said, when she did that live that she did, I said the way Porsha frames things. Yes, her and Shamia we're not as close. When you go into a season and things turn on you, not things change. I said, oh, and then when she said, well, she didn't send it to me, she could have stopped there. She must have sent it to everybody else. Girl.
Things turn on you, meaning she started stuff with the other girl. You see the rollout? You see?
Yeah, it's like she's trying. And I also think go back to the C19 season. It was the season after the C19 season. Remember, they kept doing these lives back and forth where it came out that Porsha had went to the network and asked them to take something out, but they left Kenya's response in. It was, oh my God, it was they had went away to North Carolina for Cynthia's bridal shower. They came back and Kandi had a lunch with Kenya. And then after Kenya left, I think Don Juan had came and sat down. But they were having a conversation and somebody in the comments, I'm sure will tell us, but they were saying something and Kenya said something and it made it seem like, why would she say that? It was so out of pocket, but they didn't show something in the episode that Porsha had done. So flash forward after it was over, I'll never forget Porsha was sitting on a chair, and I don't know if she was in her office, in her home, and she was saying, and if something was taken out, it was because the network didn't want Black Lives Matter to be tainted. And it made, do you remember that it was something about
yeah, that was an issue with her and Kandi.
Yes. And then
damn, what was that?
So, but you know what I'm talking
Porsha
about.
did. Yeah.
And I said, it's interesting that they left Kenya. And you know what? Maybe it wasn't what they did in North Carolina. It was when they had the Black Lives Matter thing, the little surprise party for her, and Porsha came walking in and they had the pictures of the people hanging up. Kenya said something and we were like, why would she say that when she's bringing attention to Black Lives Matter? But it's because they left something Porsha asked them to take something out. And I was like, when they start since now we know that they do that now, but back then I thought they let whatever, if you said it, it's in. If you did it, it's in.
No, and that ain't everybody. No,
and they even involved Nene because allegedly, Porsha was mad because they were also put on a group text.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to have been her storyline for the season. Yes. And she got mad at Kandi for doing. Yep.
And that was so crazy. And it was like Kandi actually went behind the scenes to have Black producers brought on, production companies brought on, all of this. And Kandi was like, that had nothing to do with you or the network. I wasn't trying to go behind y'all back. This is something I wanted to do. And she still was going to be a part of what they wanted to be a part of. And Porsha was making the argument that, well, she did that behind my back. And it's like, if it's really for our community, you would see the bigger picture. So it's all those
storyline, it would just be what you're doing, period.
What it is. That's it.
Yep.
I said, but it's interesting how her, Yandy, like they're all friends. Like they all and it was somebody else, a Quad.
Yeah.
I seen this TikTok and it was a Black lady in Atlanta and she was like, let's see what time my friends show up. I told them to come at 7:00. And it was all these different Black women in Atlanta. Then there was Quad, there was Porsha, there was the other one I just mentioned, I can't remember. Yandy. And I was like, oh, they all run in the same circle. Okay.
Yep.
This season, I think I was listening to Rodney The Voice and he had a good point. He said he feels like production is slowly rolling the covers back, like not protecting Porsha as much as they've been in the past. Which makes me, I'm already looking forward to next season. Although I'm interested in this season, still I'm like, okay, because it's when I watch Kenya, And I was never one of her biggest supporters. I've admitted that. But I'm almost sad. Like, I want more of Kenya. I need her
she was the one keeping the ball rolling. She coming in and doing her actual job. Like, literally, she's asking the questions that need to be asked. And for the first time, and I'll give it to the fans, because Kenya has been mean to newbies in the past. I'll never say that she hadn't been, but this season she actually came in being kind to everybody.
I think back to that first party, and I don't know, it's the little details to me. After Britt tried to say Kenya was shady when she was talking to her husband, when they go in the house, what does Britt say to her? Can I have another hug? Because I saw how you hugged everybody else. Kenya said, who? Cynthia, that's my best friend. Kenya grabs her by the fingertips and she's like, come on. To me, that was not a gesture of somebody that I'm trying to purposely be nasty to.
Yeah.
Like, that was a cute little...
But Kenya was still being Kenya because she set her dumb ass down and ignored her and talked about, now what's going on with you? Because I'm not even about to address what you talking about.
And got the story moving. I said,
exactly. I was like, that's how you work. And she was sitting there on pins and needles, like, you don't talk to me. I'm like, you so dumb. You are so dumb. Like, you're not ready to play this game with her. She's been a veteran at this for years. And she told on herself when she said, can I have a hug? Because I saw how you greeted me. That's weird.
And it makes you feel, woman. Come on. Your best bet was to try to befriend her in an authentic way if you could, because you could learn from this.
Exactly. Because I will say, not as far as her mannerisms and her personality per se, but there's a little bit of her that I do see of Kenya in her.
That's what people...
I do see it. Now, she's a little bit more around the way girl than Kenya.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of I think the tenacity and the gutsiness that I'll say that I see in her.
Yeah.
But I think that if she did say what Shamia said, she said about her kid, and I don't know what causes her and Kelly to fall out, but it's not looking too good for her because the audience can't stand her already.
And I don't understand how you go from having all the ladies support you after Kenya showing the picture to now them not. Like, you had to do something drastic if they were all supporting you after that. Because even Porsha and all of them, yes, they were still friendly with Kenya, but they were still supporting Britt. So I need to know what happened for that to happen. And I just saw, before we started recording on Instagram, I think it was the Bravo Shade Room, Porsha was somewhere answering questions. They were shady questions to the cast. She's reading off of a card. And she said, and I'm going to have receipts on people at the reunion.
Yeah, I saw that.
Child, somebody in the comments said, spell receipts. I screamed. Because, it could be tricky. I before E, except after.
Yeah, no, not for Porsche.
I just screamed. I
was thinking that she was talking about Shamia.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Or Kelly.
That's what I thought. I thought Shamia or Kelly too.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, what was your expectation before we got even the first episode? And now that we're 3 episodes in, has your opinion changed on what you thought it might be?
Oh, yeah. I had no expectations going into the season once I saw the lay of the land and how everything was going to go with the King situation, and how that in between space of Kenya being suspended till Phaedra coming in the last 2 weeks of filming, it was obvious that middle part wasn't about much. That's why they had to try to salvage the season by bringing Phaedra in, because if they were bringing it, Phaedra wouldn't have been needed.
Right.
So I'm a little afraid about what we about to get once Kenya is gone after what maybe episode. It's either she going to be gone after this week's episode or next week's episode. Yeah. So we only got her for 1 or 2 more episodes. So what is about to happen between now and Phaedra comes in right before they go on a cast trip? So what are we about to get from these ladies in that in-between space is what I'm worried about. But going into the season, I really didn't have any expectations because when the promo pics came out, I was disgusted with the way that they looked. It was so ghetto. It was so Love and Hip Hop. I hated the direction in which they went to. Nothing about it was glamorous and over the top. It was so accessible. And that's not what we want from Housewives. We want to be like, oh, I want that type of house. I want that type of gown. I want those jewels. And I will say that the ladies are actually bringing that in the season, but the way that they were promoted was ghetto. Why did y'all have Shamia with the boots, with the fur, and I'm like, what is going on here? This is a mess. A mess. They like they was going to the club.
And the colors behind, I said,
colors was trashy.
Everything messed up because what season was it? Nene's last season when they had that cast photo in all black. And I said, they have not topped that ever since.
Yeah, that was spectacular. But when the season aired, I gave the first episode an A. I thought that everybody was on full cylinders. I loved what I was seeing. I was clocking Britt the first episode. I'm still on the fence about Angela Oakley.
I was just going to ask you about her.
Yeah, Kelly, I actually like her. I think that she's the best fit thus far out of the 3 newbies.
Yes.
4 newbies, including Shamia, if you want to call her a newbie. I think that she has been a great fit. I think that she speaks her mind. She's feisty. She's bringing the glitz and the glam. The main thing that I'm really loving about this season is the fact that they have brought the glamorous lifestyle back to Atlanta. Because like over the last maybe like 6 years, they got lazy. They got real lazy. They weren't even showing up to scenes dressed no more. They was coming in tracksuits and hair wasn't done and wasn't nobody throwing parties no more. I was like, what? This is the ghetto over here.
And even though she wears me low, well, I want to wear her low. It wasn't even like an Erica Jane style tracksuit where she would do something with the heels and the ponytail. And they were Drew. I almost feel like when Drew came on, it went down a notch instead of going up, instead of us getting Drew Sidora. Like,
have you ever thrown an event?
Just that, the body event, the Drop It with Drew. That's not really Drew.
Girl, no. I'm talking about like an extravagant event. No,
only she threw Kenya that birthday party when she realized she was going down
at the house, and even that was janky.
Yeah. Where Sheree had her $6,000 sweater and didn't pay her half.
Yeah. So I am appreciating that Shamia started the season off with a bang with this glorious glamorous party, and then you got Kelly coming in with the Boseman event, which was huge. And I did see that it's going to be several more events being held. They have a lot. I think Kelly has a cover shoot party that they all attended.
That's right. We saw the picture.
Yeah, they're gonna have like a lunch outdoors somewhere, flowers and everything everywhere. This is after Kenya goes, so they have a lot more events coming up, and I'm really happy about that. That the ladies are coming dressed to the nines with the fashion and everything. I do love the confessionals with the full body. I love the fact that they changed that. But yeah, I'm pleased with the way this season is going. I can't wait to see what this middle part is going to look like, because I'm real shaky on what's going to happen. And to be honest with you, I hate that they did bring Phaedra back. I'm not a proponent of Phaedra, because my thing is y'all just paid her a 6-figure check for 2 seasons over there on Married to Medicine. She ain't married nor in medicine, taking no medicine, giving out medicine, injecting medicine. She ain't a medical attorney. She ain't an ambulance chaser. I don't understand. She didn't bring nothing over there. So what y'all expected she gonna do over here?
Right.
And then once again, y'all rewarding bad behavior. Don't bring her ass back on this goddamn show if y'all not gonna address what the hell her ass did when she left.
Yeah. And Kenya's gone. So like if Phaedra comes back next season, which we know she's going to, Phaedra, Kenya needs to be back full time with a peach.
Oh yeah, she most definitely is going to be back next season. But my thing is, she's going to come back, and if Phaedra come back, like you said, which I foresee happening, it's inevitable that her and Porsha are not going to stay on good terms, because I feel like once again Porsha gonna snake her,
just like she did
the last time. Yep.
And I even said back then, I was like hard on Kenya, but when her and Porsha came together, I loved it.
Loved it.
When she made up with Nene and then changed on Kenya like that.
On her
and Phaedra did the same thing. When Kenya threw that divorce party, she was trying. Okay, if it upset you, you could have said it in a different way, but to turn around and hear Kenya thought y'all had made up. Kenya had asked you to go, or didn't she take Kenya on a trip with her to like with young girls? And then for you to turn around and stab her like that, I was like, And it makes you kind of see why Kenya is always on guard.
Hell yeah, around them heifers.
Yeah, so it just, but I'm enjoying the season too. I think Angela fits in with this group and would have fit in with the old school housewives as well. I feel like
I agree on that. I just want to see more of her personality. I have said on my videos that I think that her detriment this season is going to be her marriage and that it's going to be heavily scrutinized. And I don't think that from what I've seen thus far about Charles, I don't think that he's a horrible person, but I've already had known about him from his basketball career that he is very cantankerous. He does got a mouth on him. He's always been kind of like the bad boy or whatever. So I came into the season expecting that for him. And, you know, those type of men work for a certain type of women. Obviously, she like him and they work well together or whatever, but I think that his personality is going to rub the public wrong. And I think that the way that he speaks to her or his mannerisms, people are going to start scrutinizing that, and I hope that she's prepared for it.
When you said that, I was saying yes, because I already see it. The people automatically want to say the man don't love you, the man don't want you,
he mean talk to you crazy.
It's like, and I do feel like Charles seems like the type where if he didn't want her, he would.
Now, that doesn't mean that I'm still holding judgment because I want to see more.
Me too.
Treating her wrong with the way that he talks and stuff like that. But for right now, he just an old ass man.
We know so many black men like that don't care. Because Corey, when he was watching it, he was like, he said, somebody, I forget what were we watching it? Either, no, not Watch What Happens Live. Somebody, I forget how it came. Oh, Angela was like, Charles, maybe we were watching something, but basically they were like, Charles was going to be Charles. He don't care about cameras. And here he go. That would be me. I wouldn't care about no camera. I'm gonna be me. And I said, and that's exactly why
I could never.
Because people will be like, I said, you be done said something now. I ain't got no IG no more. No, no TikTok. No. So we know a lot of black men that just going to say what they want to say. Now, I do have a question. When she laid out their kids, she said she had her 24-year-old and she had a 12-year-old. Charles has a child. And then she said, Charles Jr. didn't say his age. He looked like he could be in the age range of their child together. So when I started doing some digging, I promise you, I could find the ages of all his children, but that one. But then I also thought, because TikToks were done like, oh, Charles must have cheated on her. He must have had a side piece. Then a part of me started wondering if she was a side piece, because if she has a 12-year-old and then they have an 11-year-old together, her 12-year-old is not by Charles.
Right.
She has an 11-year-old with Charles. So were they both in the, like, is Charles Jr. the same age as her 11-year-old because they both were kind of maybe seeing other people and came back together? You know what I mean? Because, you know, you've had a child. So for you to have a child that's 12 months older than, if you had a child that was 12 months younger than your son, that means you got it in pretty quick.
I thought that the little girl was like 8.
Well, when I looked it up, child, it said she was 12 and their other child together was 11. Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna go back down the rabbit hole again. Hold on. This is gonna be funny.
Yeah, I could have sworn she said
Charles Oakley and Angela Oakley's children's age. We're gonna see. I should have taken the picture because it said. Child, I also went back and found the that video of him getting kicked out of Madison. Girl. Why did he look like a young David Allen Greer? Go watch it. He looked like a young David. He got handsome in his older years.
I can believe that. I can so believe that. Because I remember seeing footage, and I added it in one of my videos during the summer when they were still filming. They had filmed a scene for the show of them celebrating a little boy's birthday. So I don't know if that was his son or her son.
Okay.
Party.
Why is it
in the backyard? Hold on, I'm scrolling.
And he's still in a lawsuit too with Madison Square Garden. Okay, here we go. I have Amari, who's 24, Avon, who's 11. That's with Charles. And Charles has Charles Jr. Let me go back. Angela has her daughter, who's 24, her other child, who's 11, on her own. Charles has Charlie Jr., no name, and they share. Oh, you right, child. 7, my bad. I thought I had uncovered something.
Look, right now, I'm like, she looked younger than him.
I thought I had uncovered something. That
yeah, you got to take that part out.
Okay, so now I'm back to one. Well, we remember. Okay, so Wendy Williams, it's now been circulating. Wendy had said on her show she was at a party with Charles and Angela. She said, and this was around the time when Wendy was going through it when it came out that Kevin had a baby. She said that she was at a party. They were getting ready to leave. She was getting her coat. Angela gave her a hug and whispered in her ear, "Can I say something to you?" or something. And Wendy said, "Yes." And she said, "It's just a baby, Wendy. You can stick it out." And so Wendy's question was, "Has that happened to you?" And Angela looked at Charles and said, "Yes." And Wendy said, "She's a lot better or a lot nicer than I am." Wendy told the story on her show. So Angela tried to get her to stay with Kelvin. I guess his real name is Kelvin.
Yeah.
Because she said they went through it. It was just a baby they could get. And clearly the son being with it. So yeah.
I guess we're going to find out.
Look, that's why she was calling down to that concierge. "Have you seen Charles?"
Right.
I just want to make a smooth transition. It's not going to be smooth. I just want to tell that lady who used to pat her puss and now she's got to pat Jennifer Tilly's stuff because she don't have it no more. I want to tell her, you are not like us. You will never be like us. For you to sit your behind on Watch What Happens Live and say, "Won't he do it?" And then look at Boz and say, "This is an inside joke." Inside to who? Because you're not even on the inside. And for Boz to be sitting there skinning, grinning, and he hung with her when she talked about Garcel's home in Bakersfield. Garcel didn't have to get her home laying on her back and then lose it standing on her feet. I need her to know. Again, you are not like us. And it's not lost on me that when Garcel was on, what's that show, The Real? There was a episode where she was sitting next to Lonnie and she told Lonnie, they started talking about Garcel's fancy birthday party she had. And she said that at her party, Erica came up to them drunk, up to her and Adrian, and said, "You know the women who support me?" and pointed to their skin color and said, "Black woman." I said, see, now she didn't took it too far. Because while we may support her now, I'm very protective of our Black women on these shows. And as much as I may not always agree with Garcel, what you won't do is discount what she has brought to the show or try to act like she hasn't given anything to the show. That lady talked about her son and how he used to be addicted to something. And what did y'all do? Y'all turned around and you filmed Lisa Rinna burning her book in a trash can and thought that was funny. I'm done because I don't want to say anything and get my channel taken down.
Girl, them people ain't gonna do nothing. But let me say this. I don't know if you caught that. Girl, because when I saw that clip last night, girl, I was so mad.
Girl.
So mad. So I'm still mad. Like
me too.
I'm like, just put me in, coach. Just give me 5 minutes.
Come on.
I could read everybody down to the ground.
Down to your non-Gucci socks, because we know she's tough. Girl.
Erica thinks she is so tough because she ain't been cussed out properly by nobody. But this is my thing about Watch What Happens Live last night. Let's address the "won't he do it." I don't know if you peep game when she said "won't he do it" and look back at Bose.
Come on.
Like, that's an inside joke. That was an inside joke between her, Bose, and Dorit. Bose is the one that hip child, or won't he do it?
Come on.
And y'all been talking about Garcel and getting her ass off the show.
Yes.
And Bose looked at her shocked that she said it on camera.
Come on.
So this is my thing. Fuck Erica, because Erica is gonna be Erica. Fuck her. Her life already ruined. You in a rental house, bitch. Bose is a fucking one of them black women.
Come on.
That like to suck up to white women. She likes white approval, praise, or whatever. I don't know if it's because she's African, because she's dark skinned. I don't know. But the fact that you as a black woman would sit up here on national television and kiki with a white woman talking about another black woman and her accomplishments said all to me that I needed to know about her. I was on the fence with Bose for a lot of this season, but what really put the nail in the coffin for me when it came to Bose was the 4th of July pool party episode. That's when I was like, yeah, I ain't really feeling her. I ain't really feeling her at all. And I was talking to one of my best friends last night because we did a video on this whole situation last night. And I pointed out to her, I said, you're not going to make me believe that Boseman St. did not do her due diligence, did not do her research before she decided to film with these ladies. She could come on here and pretend like she came in not knowing the lay of the land and what has gone on between them, but that is a bunch of bullshit to me. That lady is way too smart, way too calculated, way too educated to not have sat down and watched previous seasons of this show. She knows about Dorit's microaggressions. Yeah. She knows that Erica's a bitch. She knows all of these things about all of these women, but she's playing to the camera acting like she came in blind and didn't know anything about anybody. And it's not surprising to me either that Dorit came into the season. Hi, I'm Dorit. I'm going through a divorce. What are you going? The first other black woman that you see on this show, and your last season, you was dealing with microaggressions to Garcel. So let me befriend the next black girl. Hey, I'm not racist. Look, I'm friends with Bose. And I've been hearing all these stories now on social media about people coming out the blue.
Yes.
Empire's video.
Yes.
Where he was saying all these people coming out the woodwork saying they used to work with her and how she likes to pretend like she's for black women and for promoting black people and all these things, but she never did.
Yes, that she favored white women behind the scenes. Yep.
Yeah, and it's proving to me because you watch this season, we never saw her try to get to know anybody on this show outside of Dorit. And she built a relationship with Erica. We all know her and Kyle had they situations or whatever. They don't get along, her and Kathy, whatever. Yeah. And she has her issues with Sutton. But when I found out about what's going to go down at this reunion.
Girl, which Garcel's post makes so much sense. And I hate that. I have posted a picture earlier in the season of Bose and Garcel. They were at Kyle's Diamond and Denim party. And we as black women have a look. We could be somewhere and there's some foolishness going on and we look at each other. And it was very brief, but I took that picture and was so excited for them to go through this season. I'm not naive to the fact that all black women don't have to like each other, just like the 4 white women don't have to like each other. But what is almost not heartbreaking, but just so ick to me is when it comes, we don't get along because one of us is specifically tap dancing or could possibly be tap dancing for somebody that don't look like us. Like, we're already the minorities on this show. So if we just don't hit along, if our personalities don't get along, it is what it is. Then you just don't get along. Right. But when Garcel put up her post, all skin folk and kinfolk, and then you find out, like you said, what happened at that reunion, it's like, girl, that had me hot. When I saw how Garcel walked off that stage, and if I don't see Sutton get up and go after her, but I've been saying, like, Sutton and Garcel started out as a friendship of convenience, which I understand because the Fox Force 5 locked them out. They wouldn't give them a chance. Then they grew a friendship. But I felt like Sutton has always wanted to be a part of the Fox Force 5. So to watch Garcel walk off that stage, if I am watching that reunion and it's a whole lot of Bose kikiing with Erica and them, and from what Kempire said on his video, the tea he got was that they kind of like an argument ensues and they kind of like try to turn it around on Garcel. Girl.
I want to read you something.
Okay.
So this is when I really said the hell with Bose. This was an article that came out March 4th via Reality Blurb, where she sat down and did an interview. And she said, and I quote, Garcel gave me the charge, Boseman shared on the February 27th episode of Access Hollywood's Housewives Nightcap, after admitting she was leading the charge against Kyle over her text. She came over and told me, and she knew that I just couldn't let it be. I think I was used in that moment because I'm also like, Garcel, why didn't you go and tell everybody? She could have called Dorit and told her, but she came and told me, and then I had to go do it because she had grown so close to Dorit amid her first season on the show. Bose didn't hesitate to bring up Kyle's text to Kyle. However, it was the quickness with which they became close that raised questions from many. How are you going to sit up here and blame this woman and saying she knew I was going to have to go and confront Kyle? She did that. This don't even fucking make sense.
Hold up. So the girlfriend moment that we thought they would be having on Bose's couch when they had their shoes off and Garcel brought Bose some food. She said, I couldn't find Haitian food.
And saying that she set her up to go and attack Kyle. She knew I had to say something. She knew to be able to let it go. This is when I said, oh yeah, fuck this bitch. She's crazy. So yeah, at the reunion, she's using this against Garcel. And then at the reunion, from what Kempire says, she's going to use the information about when her and Sutton got into it. And on the after show, Sutton said that she came on strong or whatever the word is that she used. And she's going to take that and use it against Garcel to say, you just sat there and let her say that against me. Basically saying you sat there and let a white woman microaggress me and you didn't even stick up for me. They're literally taking what she did, what Dorit did to her last year, and now trying to spin it around onto her.
Which is the same thing Anne-Marie tried to do to her last season.
And that's why they said that Garcel was like, oh, hell, fuck that. And she left. And then Kempire said that she said that when she was wondering if the break-in was staged, and she says that I would have sued her if I was you. I would have sued.
Hold on.
Both. I'm like, they already eating her up based off of Watch What Happens Live. But if this goes down like it's being said it's going down, baby, they are about to eat your ass up. You would have wished that your ass stayed over there in corporate America. And like you said, I see why she said all kinfolk ain't skin folk, because she's one of them Black women, like I said, that likes to wear the African garb and the big fat hair, which looks a mess. But she really ain't down for the cause. She really ain't. It's like you said, we don't have to like each other. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to be besties. But ain't no way in hell I'm about to sit up here and let a bunch of white girls team up against the only other Black girl on this cast. And then, like Bose, you wouldn't be on this bitch if it wasn't for Garcel. She was the first to do it. She had to deal with all of this shit so your ass could sit here. You big body beings. I don't like her. I do not like her. Oh, swole shoulder ass. Like, wasn't ready. I cannot.
Ready for that. I just, me,
she really turns on this lady.
For me as a Black woman, I have had people, I love Black women, always have. I grew up with a Black family, Black friends, Black church, but I went to a school that was majority white, my elementary school.
Me too.
I know you can relate. You're going to be able to relate to what I'm getting ready to say. So you get excited. There's a different energy when you get around Black folks when you were a young Black girl. But then some of those same people will tell you you're not Black enough for them. And that's when it hurts the most. F what y'all white folks say. It hurts when it comes from your community. Like, I got my arms open like, oh my God, I love y'all. And y'all are like, I'm not Black enough for you. So when I hear that and see this, it just hits different.
Yep.
Because it's like, you're intentionally going to tap dance for these white folks. The ones that are probably using you.
Ain't no probably, because let's be honest. Let's be honest. If Bose wasn't who she was in the entertainment field, wouldn't none of these people entertain her. Aesthetically, Dorit and Erica would never be friends with her.
Yeah.
She country as shit. She can't dress. Her hair look a mess. They would never be with her in real life. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And if we could have the Black girl on our side, it makes Garcel look she always has a problem and always trying to play the race card. But look, we get along with this Black girl.
Right.
And the fact that she went along with this shit, I'm good. But I knew that this bitch was stupid when she was sitting up here trying to have a baby with somebody you only knew 8 months and the nigga ain't told you he love you. You afraid to even bring the conversation up, but then you talking about ovaries and shit with this nigga. Girl, shut up.
Then said she wanted to get married before having a baby. But now her title card said, what did her title card say? They were actively working on having the baby, but you said you wanted to be married first. That's what you said.
They marry her.
Right. We saying it has to be that way. You said it. It's just so disappointing because when I tell you I was
excited about her being on the show.
Too. And her and Garcel, that moment at her house, I was so excited. And that moment at the Diamond and Denim's party, and just I feel tricked.
I think that for Bose, when Garcel checked her at that 4th of July party.
Oh, that was okay.
Yep. I think that was okay. Yeah. But it was the truth, because let's say, for instance, she did come into the season blind, not knowing what was going on between these ladies. Shut up. You don't know what's going on. You don't know the history here. So you don't understand that we have been bullied by these women for the last 4 or 5 years. Me and this woman. I've had to sit here, and there were times where Garcel did sit there and didn't say anything when Erica would cuss Sutton out. She would sit there sometimes and not say nothing. But then it got to a point where I got to say something because it's all of them against this person. And then they would do the same thing to her. So like you said, it was like they pretty much only had each other. And then when Crystal saw that she wasn't a part of the clique, she had to scurry on. It was all of the, I guess, the lames and the women of color that were X'd out of the group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I personally think that her and Sutton do have a real genuine friendship.
Yeah, I feel like they
would be remiss. I would be pissed too if she don't go after her. Yeah. But I do think that they had a obvious rift in their friendship this season, because Sutton is one of those women that she wants to be a part of the cool girl clique so bad that she's not paying attention to the people that really care about her and give a fuck about her. Because I don't know when it's going to dawn on her that Kyle don't like you, girl.
At all. And she said out of her mouth, you two are closer to her than I am.
Exactly. Like, girl, how many more ways she got to show you? She don't see it for you.
Yep.
She don't see it. Like, once again, in real life, they would never be friends with Sutton because aesthetically, she doesn't fit the bill. She got the money, but she does not have the look.
Or the it factor, that the cool girl.
And that's why she keeps on saying, I want to be a part of the Barbies. Well, I'm sorry, bitch. You're Skipper. Get over it. Get over it. You're paraplegic Barbie. I don't know what to tell you, but girl, you ain't in it. God. And I wish somebody would shake her ass. And Jennifer Tilly, hide your kids, hide your keys, because Erica gonna steal from your ass. The bitch always covered in your jewelry and shit. You better keep your shit on lock around that thieving asshole. I've been peeping game. That bitch is a thief. Watch your jewelry.
I'm clutching my pearls like this.
And then, wait a minute, let me say this.
No, say it. No,
nerve of Erica Jane to say in the reunion trailer to Garcel, I just wanted you to be more interested. Says the bitch that redecorated her house this season.
Come on.
Have you lost your mind, bitch? If I was Garcel, I would have said, I know you ain't talking and your ponytail don't even blend in with your hair. Let's talk about that. You got that synthetic.
Thank you for...
Hair looked a mess.
Keisha, thank you for saying that. Because when I saw those reunion pictures, I haven't done my video yet. I immediately, when I saw Erica, said something is off with her ponytail, but I was looking at it from my phone. So I need to, so thank you for confirming. I knew something was off.
It was so off, didn't even match, didn't blend, didn't nothing. It looked like a drawstring ponytail. Like, girl, we know you broke, but, and then Dorit sitting up here gonna say to Sutton, your house on the main street. Bitch, at least I got a house. You better hope I don't buy yours. You better shut the fuck up if I put you and them baby kids out on the street. Like, they need to start going there with them hoes.
Yes.
That's they need one thing that I don't like about Beverly Hills is they like to be nice, nasty instead of like just straight going for the jugular like the other franchises do. I don't know what this is about their franchise where they try to be nice, nasty, and they don't really try to go there, and how they don't like to spray each other's business. They got to stop.
You know why? Because
for too long.
Just like Hollywood is smoke and mirrors, Beverly Hills. So the whole thing is smoke and mirrors. That's why they had
smoke and mirrors.
Like,
because if one of y'all just don't be like, how you are a lesbian, we all know it. We don't give a fuck. Stop. Just stop, girl. We know.
And my thing is, or if she would just be, as she always says, just be honest. Y'all, this is new to me. I don't even know how my family gonna react, how my kids gonna react. It's hard for me to talk about it as my friends. Can y'all just give me a minute? Because I'm still trying to figure it out and be done. But you don't get to bring the girl on, flaunt her, and then say, we can't talk about it when collectively as an audience, we have all agreed you did not have that grace for Denise Richards. You didn't.
Nope.
You did not have that grace.
And then my whole thing, and I said this in a previous video with the Kyle situation, is I could probably feel bad for her when the photographs of Mauricio being with all these other women come out and him kissing and hanging with the singer Anita in the snow and all of this type of stuff. I could possibly feel bad for her, but we can't, because we're missing a huge chunk of why y'all relationship broke apart.
Yes.
The only thing this heifer said a few reunions ago is that he did something that broke my trust.
Yes, you're right. Yep.
Never said what it was. You led us to make up in our own minds. Did he cheat? Did he steal money? What did he do? And then the next thing we knew, you were out here flaunting another woman around, getting matching tattoos, being in the music videos, sitting on her lap on private jets, going exercising with her, spending every time of the day with her, had her filming with you, had her come into your best friend who passed away little repast thing.
Yes.
Her, your own husband wasn't there. So I'm confused as to then why the next season you on here crying and acting like, oh, I'm in this house all by myself. He's moved out. He's moving on with his life. I guess he's not coming back. I don't know what to do. How do we go from that to this? I'm not understanding, because you kicked this thing off with being with another woman. So then how are you crying when he's out here with another woman? It doesn't make sense, because we don't know what the hell is going on.
All of a sudden, just...
Like, how are you mad when he out here doing what you already was doing? The only thing is, we haven't seen you be intimate with this young lady at all. That's the only thing. We haven't seen y'all full-blown kiss each other in public. We saw you sitting on her lap and all of that stuff, but we haven't seen y'all like holding hands and all of this type of stuff. So in my eyes, to me, it looked like you gave up on the marriage first.
Right.
So how you sitting up here crying?
Right. And giving us nothing about your stuff, but only about his stuff.
Thank you. And that's why I love that Garcel was like, it's okay for us to talk about Mo, but we can't talk about Morgan.
Yeah, like that. And that's fair because let's be clear. Mauricio didn't even want to talk about his stuff when he came to the house last week to see her. So so Kyle gets to not talk about her stuff. I heard that she also runs off like 2 or 3 times because they're on her. Yeah. Cause you've been treading, like you've been treated light your whole time on here.
Yes.
I feel, and even if people bring up the sister thing, she brought that up about Kim's drinking and out and all of that stuff. So
she sure did. She sure did.
Beverly Hills was this season. It's going to sound like opposites, but it was like, I enjoyed it, but nothing happened. Is that
correct? I will say I enjoyed the first half of the season when Dorit had her foot on Kyle's neck.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that. And I was like, okay, maybe I can like Dorit now. Maybe. And then Dorit was Dorit with the whole Sutton situation and how she treated her at the 4th of July thing. And then I spoke to her. No, the fuck you didn't. You had that lady sitting downstairs for almost an hour. And then when Kyle showed up, you walked your scrawny ass down them steps and spoke to her and did not speak to this lady. And then had that weird moment with the Kelly bag. And it was so weird. And it was like, bitch, give me my purse. What the fuck are you doing? It was so weird. And then when you do speak to me, you want to talk about me being an alcoholic. Yeah, I'm out. Like, I ain't got time for this.
Right.
Like, Dorit,
I was hoping kick rocks that her friendship with Bose would enlighten her to some things without Bo doing anything. I was going to say, now we're finding out that it might not even be that way. Bose will learn. I hope for her sake that her and Dorit truly are friends outside and that she don't switch up on you next season, because like you said, I refuse to believe that you didn't watch the show, didn't know what's going on, and see how they've treated all the women of color. Garcel, Crystal, all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
I'm wondering, is Bo's one of them people where she all bark, no bite? When they were at that 4th of July event and Garcel checked her and she was sitting there, stuck on stage, didn't really know what to say. So I'm wondering, are you really that tough like you claim to be? And so, like you said, we will see in the future what's going to happen with her, because as of right now, she has the illusion of don't F with me.
Yes.
So I don't see them being Erica and Dorit coming for her, because Dorit loves the fact that now she got this guard dog by her side.
Yeah.
So if anybody I could see coming for her, it would be Erica out of that little clique where I could see her clicking off on her and getting an attitude one day. But now that Garcel is gone, I really do feel bad for Sutton. I mean, Jennifer Tilly seems like she's coming back next season as a friend of, but this is another thing. I don't know if you know. I watched a few episodes of the after show.
I have been missing out. I've been missing them.
And Jennifer Tilly can read.
Okay.
Never would have known it. Never would have known it. She had some funny reads in the after show. And I was like, why didn't we get to see this side of her? Like, she can actually go. And I was like, okay, this is what we need to see more of. And pay attention to how midway through the season, all these stories started coming out about how the cast didn't like her.
Wait a minute.
They coming for your ass next season, Jennifer.
I noticed that, and all those came out, and then we get those like 3 or 4 stories come out. Then bam, comes the episode where she talks about it's hard to fit in this group, and I was like, something's going on. It's so funny you said that. I was gonna tweet today and say, do y'all think they would offer Jennifer a full-time role next season?
I don't think so. I don't think she deserves it yet, because she didn't do enough this season to really prove herself. But if she can give us what I saw on the after show, she would be great, because she would get them together, because she has some funny, especially for Dorit.
Okay.
So I would love to see that. As far as who I would like to see cast for next season, I feel like they need to bring in 2 or 3 new women.
They need to shake some stuff up because
they have to. They have to keep Sutton, keep Kyle, keep even Dorita, I guess. Keep Bose, because it's obvious she's gonna come back as of right now, and keep Erica. But I do think that they need to bring in 2 to 3 new women, fresh perspectives, people that are not gonna hold back. I want people that are actually going to go there. Because let me tell you something. Like I said, Erica thinks she's so tough. Dorit thinks she got a mouth. They would never be able to go up against a Dorinda. Dorinda would destroy them.
Yeah.
That's the type of energy we need over there. A white woman that don't give a fuck and that know how to cuss you out real quick.
And I'm glad you said white, because black, they would isolate her. They would. So, yeah.
But I wouldn't even care about that. Let me just come on for one good season to get all you hoes together.
I'll come with you.
Y'all need it.
I'll be your friend of.
Because y'all need it. Because I understand Garcel's plight with her being the first black woman.
Yeah, come on.
All white franchise.
Come on.
So she didn't want to come off aggressive. She didn't want to come across ghetto. She didn't want to come across confrontational. She got in there and she made her zingers here and there. She had some standout moments, but she did not take it there like she could have, and like I wish she would have after her first 2 seasons. Because at this point, it would have been fuck all y'all kiss my motherfucker. I would have been cussing them out and reading them for filth and telling all their business, because that's what they need, especially Erica and Dorit.
When Lisa Rinna, her last season, when she sat at that reunion and said, and you were in your confessional throwing shade, Garcel. I said, no, ooh.
Girl, that's what I'm saying.
I ain't never seen you talk about shade or move your neck the way.
Girl, never. Ever.
Even and Teddy's trying to get relevant. Garcel didn't reach out to me. Garcel's not your friend.
First of all, let's talk about that crazy woman. Lady, you just had brain surgery. Ain't no way in hell I'm about to be worrying about who called me and who didn't, especially with somebody I don't even have a relationship with. Your priorities are in the wrong place.
Yes.
That lady is crazy. She already talking about how she already going out on dates. Bitch, if you don't heal your brain and get somewhere and sit down somewhere, you was sitting over here living in somebody else's house. How about you get your issues, your life together? You and your husband are still going through a divorce. Let's not forget you was over here cheating on that man with somebody else's husband, you weirdo.
And you are fresh out of brain surgery, not even 3 weeks. When I saw that she sat on that show and said, and Garcel, y'all have been shading Garcel since before she called you a nat, since you got that podcast. And this is why I get like, I feel you when you say, we know what it's like to be the only one, the first one. We know how they look at you crazy, but at the same time, you want them to hit them so hard with their words that they can't, that they like, you're not going to keep coming from me. You're not going to play with me coming from me.
Erica would never step to a Kenya.
Come on.
Like she stepped to Garcel. Never in a million. She would never step to a Nene that way. She already know what's up.
Yeah.
Already know what's up.
Yeah.
One thing about Ultimate Girls Trip that I loved is that when they brought all of these titans from these different shows together, you really got to see who was about that life.
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of them are not as tough as they are on their own shows.
Yes. Oh, that was it gave me a different side of Teresa too. The Teresa from the
Teresa punk.
Seasons.
Teresa a punk.
Like, she's actually quiet when she's not. And even I will say this, I feel like that too. But I also felt like it showed me a little bit of she really truly, because she's so in her own head, feels like nobody has her back on her show. So that's why she feels like she got to come, like she can't relax. Versus now she's on this show with all these other titans, like you say, and it's like, oh, I can kind of. Oh, wow. Okay. But it is. I would love to see a OG, like nothing but a OG Ultimate Girls Trip. Like if you wasn't on the first season, you can't come. Like Nene, Vicky, Teresa. I'm gonna be honest.
Bring her crazy ass out.
That's who I was getting ready to say. If you not an OG, bring 2 OGs from every franchise. I would like Nene and Sheree. Even though Sheree works my nerves, but just for the sake of, I feel like they might join forces. You know what I mean? Like I would like to see that.
I could see it. One thing that I do want for Roni. Oh, we didn't even talk about what's her name? I didn't transfer my brain to forget her name in real life. What's her name?
Bren,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That psychopath.
The way,
I ain't never seen nothing like it in real life.
And girl, as of a couple days ago, I've read this interview she did. She has a podcast.
I didn't want to read it. So what'd she say?
She has a podcast.
Oh God.
She would like to see fresh girls come in for season 15. I wanted to say, you're not coming back. Fresh girls for the next season of Roni. She's on a good track with all of the ladies. She wants to reach out to Uba, but she's scared. So, and I was looking at it like, how you on a good track, but you want to reach out to Uba, but you're scared. I don't like that you keep using the word scared when it comes to Uba.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's not pretend like y'all didn't film the reunion where she forgave you.
Come on.
And then you still went and did that interview with, who was at the New York Times?
Yes, yeah. Yep. So she's saying she's on a good foot with them. I forget who she said. She texted.
Not with them, because I watch Sai's channel. Sai still ain't fucking with her.
At all.
No.
You're lying. Well, she had said in her interview, in that article you're talking about, her and Aaron had a text exchange. Aaron came out and said, girl. But now she's saying again that they text.
Yeah, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
When I read that interview, I said, the way she's blowing by this, that, her podcast, she's going to tell her truth. She wants to see fresh faces for the next season. Girl, to me, it's one thing these housewives have gone below the belt. Some of them, we know that.
That's sick. That's vile.
That what she did.
Phaedra, that for me, what she did was worse than what Phaedra did.
Yes.
Yeah, she should not be allowed back. If they bring her back, I ain't watching.
I said I would not they would fire me, because I would never have a conversation with her that wasn't recorded, and by my phone too, because I know how y'all producers like to create. So we would be sitting in scene. Say it again. Because I don't trust you.
No,
I don't trust you.
No. I don't like Aaron either. Aaron goes wherever the wind blows.
Yes.
She turned on Uba every time somebody says something about her. She is not Uba's friend.
And Jessel as well. The way she tried to make it seem like she wasn't a part of that conversation with Sai and Bren. Girl, you brought it up. Like what do you mean? Like, no, I'm sorry, Bren brought it up, but you jumped right into it. And now you want to take yourself back from.
Yeah, Aaron is weird. Aaron is very, very weird.
I don't
like her.
I'm gonna be out. My top one out of all of them was Sai. And I know people didn't like Sai, but Sai came back and adjusted her attitude this season, which is what I didn't want her to do. No,
I didn't want her to do it neither.
Say who you are.
Yeah, because I was a huge fan of Sai's before she came on the show. I watched her YouTube channel for 3-4 years before she got on the show. So when I found out that she was going to be on the show, I was hyped, because I was like, I love her fashion. I love her family. And on her YouTube channel, she's light, she's bubbly, she's funny, she's charismatic, she's charming, her kids are beautiful, and all of that. She had everything going. So I was like, oh, she's going to be great for the show. And then when she got on the show and she kept on complaining and stuff.
Oh, it was like, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't her so much her temper. It was the complaining, and it was like, what is this? It was annoying to me. And then another thing that I don't like that celebrities or reality stars do, which is weird to me, is that I don't like it when people don't acknowledge other children. So her husband has an older son that's in like his 20s or whatever. And so on the show, we have 2 kids. No, y'all got 3. Now I can understand him not wanting to be on the show, didn't want people to know what. I get that, but that's so weird to me when people don't acknowledge that there is another.
Right, because you can
very weird to me.
Say that my husband has an older son, and then we have 2 together.
Yeah, that was weird to me. I didn't understand that whole narrative or whatever. But
I didn't even know that till you said that. Wow.
Yeah. And so when she came back for last season or whatever, and she tried to be more temperamental or whatever, not be going off or whatever. I like the fact that she spoke up for herself, and that she didn't let nobody play with her. But I do think that sometimes she was aiming towards the wrong people, like how she was going at Jessel. Jessel didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that for Brian and Aaron crazy asses.
Yep.
What's her name? The lady,
Jenna.
Get her ass off of her. She is a dead fish. Like, please go. She brings absolutely nothing to the table. This is my also thing with Bravo. How are y'all hiring people that's telling y'all what they are and what they ain't gonna do?
Can you imagine somebody from Atlanta being like, I'm not going to show something. I'm not going to.
Especially when you're a first seasoner. Like, I understand that you're Jenna. Okay. You big in the fashion world. Okay. But ma'am, you came on a reality show to give your reality. Your reality is you're in a relationship with this woman. So if this woman don't want to be on the show, that's one thing. But for you not to talk about it at all, but then you could turn around and talk about it in interviews, that's the biggest slap in the face. I would have fired her after season 1.
For Shamia to have told us that she wanted to be a peach, but her husband said no, and Bravo told her he has to be a part of it. But Jenna, what's the difference? Because they already knew of Shamia, so why not make her full time? We didn't know nothing of Jenna being on a reality show.
No,
maybe in the fashion world. So and then to have her girlfriend's mom film,
girl, the weirdest shit. Well, we don't want to see this girl, mammy.
Right, like sitting in your closet.
No, get her ass off her. That money that y'all paying her could go towards 2 or 3 new housewives.
Yes.
Get her out of here. Yeah. I would like to see Sai come back. Aaron, I don't mind Aaron coming back. I think that she adds something to the show. I don't really know what yet. I really do like Jessel. Brynn should not come back at all. At all. Jenna need to go. And I have been saying this for the longest. And I was so happy when was it John Hamm from Mad Men? He's from St. Louis and he's a huge Housewives fan.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's the one that was on Watch What Happens Live.
Yes.
They told him to bring the OGs back. Why does Sonia and Luann and Dorinda have to pay for what Ramona did?
Yeah.
I still don't understand that. Bring them back, because what Roni is missing is they need that force multiplier, like Carlos King likes to say.
Yeah.
And they need the people that's going to actually go there and ask the questions, because what those girls came in and they admitted it, that they said they weren't going to go for each other's families. They weren't going to do this. They weren't going to do that. That's cute. But it's too many questions that's on the table that need to be asked.
Yes.
Y'all are doing it. None of y'all are willing to go there. And if you have somebody like Luann gonna ask the question. Luann gonna stir it up. Sonya gonna come in drunk. We missed that. I loved Roni. Roni was my favorite.
I watched it knowing what I was watching. So it wasn't a surprise to me when all this stuff came out. It was like non-Black folks were surprised when the stuff came out about Roni, because Black folks have been around.
We've been saw that
white women
was
Yeah. We knew how to separate. It wasn't
entertainment from that
stuff. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that they would have a perfect cast if they brought the 3 of them ladies onto this show. With those women, we got a gem. We got a gold mine again in New York, because they got to do something, because the ratings got to do
something. And to hear Bren talk about the women were producing themselves when we watched you on camera try to produce an argument with Rebecca Minkoff and say that to her. Girl, what?
Like, what? Make it make sense. I don't even understand why they casted Rebecca Minkoff.
Girl, and the awkwardness with which she sat on that couch when it was time for her to go, and she was like, even Jacqueline from Potomac, her exit wasn't awkward.
I felt so bad for that lady.
Me too. I did.
Nobody even cared to say bye. Even Andy.
I was sitting on her phone, at the oven, and Andy was like, "Oh, is she going?" Like, I felt for her too. My butt cheeks. You know how the embarrassment when your butt clenches.
That was gruesome.
And then did it Ask Me Anything, I think, on IG, and they asked her, was she coming back? And she said, no, girl, you didn't have to tell us.
Exactly. Like, we know you're not coming back, ma'am. Like, no, it ain't happening. Nah. But yeah, they need a huge shakeup. But as of right now, if you think about it, we ain't got that many housewife shows on the horizon coming up. Because everybody is either on hiatus or
filming. It just started, like OC, right?
OC is in production and Salt Lake City in production. Miami is not in production because their new season hasn't even aired yet. But
they're supposed to start April, right?
They no, old girl just said they're supposed to be coming on like around June.
June.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We got Miami coming up. And
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the word on the street is the Real Housewives of Rhode Island is coming.
Yeah, I've been hearing it about, Andy keep on denying it. But yeah, I heard that they got something in play. But as far as the other shows, Jersey's still on pause.
Yeah, they ain't even begun, right?
No. Beverly Hills, I guess once they figure out what they're going to do with casting, they'll start filming in a few weeks if they
on track.
But they still got to film, so that means we won't get that for another 6 to 8 months. So we don't have nothing else coming after Miami,
right?
Like I said, OC is filming right now, and Salt Lake City is filming right now. They won't be on until wintertime.
This is why Atlanta needs to get it together. Because remember, we were getting Atlanta in November.
Yeah. Yeah. And Potomac, I guess, are they filming?
Oh, yeah. Are they? Well, remember the word came out, they were getting ready to start, and then the word came out, they were putting it on pause.
Yeah, because
not on pause, delayed filming.
Yeah, delayed filming. So I don't even know if they started yet. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna be having no housewife shows over the summer. I really don't. So I think that's why we got the Love Hotel show coming.
Oh,
they still haven't aired the show that they filmed over a year ago with the kids of the housewives.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I think they got like a bunch of other side shows that they're going to fill in the slots. Because, yeah, we don't got nothing on the horizon.
That's going to piss me off. Like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm overwhelmed with them, the report on all of them. But then when we're in a drought, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, them droughts be horrible. Like right now, I'm in a drought. Right now, I'm in a drought. Like I only got shows for Sunday. I got Love and Hip Hop on Monday, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta on Tuesday. And then I'm doing Ready to Love on Fridays. Other than that, I don't have anything. I got to fill in all of that with other stuff.
Extra stuff, right? Because I couldn't believe that Beverly Hills. I was like, this is the season finale.
Yeah, they only give them 16 to 17 episodes now.
Remember back in the day, we used to get like
20 something, 22, 24.
And then a 3-part reunion or a 2-part.
Not no more. No. They said y'all gonna get these 4 months of episodes, and that is it.
Y'all gonna get about between 13 and 16. You call it a day. Didn't they wrap? Remember, and they wrapped up Roni quicker than it was supposed to. Well, they had to. Ain't nothing else left after that. Like,
girl, wasn't nothing left. Yeah, because you see now they give us the mid-season trailer by episode 7.
Right.
Yeah.
I will tell you, they're lucky that Roni situation didn't turn into a hands-on, because what that could have done for Uba's reputation outside of reality TV.
Just imagine if Jessel would have never told her.
Oh. Girl, it would have went.
How that would have destroyed that woman, because they were all believing it.
Yes,
they were all believing it. And then the heifer had the nerve to say that the girl attacked her in the hallway, and we saw the footage. Girl didn't lay a hand on her. And that heifer is diabolical.
For her to be crying so upset and come back the next day. So yeah, we can go ahead and film. And production was like, no, you got to go. I wish they had to let the other girls stay, because Bryn would have been thinking, what are they talking about?
What are they doing? They talking about me.
Yep.
Yeah. She has a lot of stuff that she needs to work out
with her therapist off camera.
Yeah, because that can't be helped. That cannot be helped. She lives in a fairy tale land that her and Mimi had, where she lives in an imaginary world and she hasn't came out of it yet. Yeah. That's why she thinks that the stuff that she says and does is okay. And it's like, this is the real world. You cannot just say what you want to say and then be like, I'm sorry, and then think that it's going to be over. No, ma'am.
Or start crying.
This lady's life. Like, you're weird.
Yeah. And then was up there crying. Don't. And I see, what I don't like is how somebody wants to act like they have bravado, like a little bass in their chest. Girl, I know you ain't acting like you got when you just a ball of tears. It's one thing, and I always bring it back to Candace. Some people, their coping thing, whether they're happy or sad, is they cry. That's their thing, whatever. But I like how she will cuss you out.
Yeah, in the midst of it. But if you paid attention to Brand, she wasn't crying.
And yes. And that's the thing.
She only started crying that one part of that reunion. I think it might have been when she was talking about being raped or whatever.
Yes.
But other than that, she wasn't crying for real. Let me tell you something about the White Housewives. They gonna pretend to cry. And that's why let me be on these shows. I'm like, girl, you ain't even crying. Stop.
You're not even crying.
No tear, no nothing. And they do the little dabbing of the eye thing to make it seem like they're trying to catch it before it drops. Girl, I know the tricks of the trade. Stop.
And if I'm crying, it's because my mouth is going to be just as destructive as my hands would be. And me nor you might not be able to recover. So because the way like you said, just put me in, coach, put me in. I was watching Nene's one talk show episode. I said, girl, do you know you're supposed to do them every week, I think? Or is it once a month? Because it's been 12 days.
Girl, they be all over the place. Her and that.
They think it's easy. They think it's easy. But Nene was talking with Carlos, and she was saying how back in the day, we would rip each other with our words and keep it moving. And I said, that's what I miss. Now everybody's so
sensitive.
Girl, that's what housewives is. Or they fight when they can't keep up.
Yep.
With their words. So that's one thing that I loved about Atlanta, because I mean, when you grew up in a Black household,
right?
Got Black aunties, they all quick. My grandma, and you had to be quick in order to, you know what I mean, to keep up. So I miss those days too. And in my Atlanta world, it would be Kenya. I would keep Angela Oakley. I would actually keep it's only 3 episodes, and I don't know how it's going to shake out with Britt, but if I had to say it from today, it would be Angela Oakley, Cynthia, Kenya, Porsha, Shamia, Nene, Sheree, even, because Charles used to date Sheree.
Oh.
Because Angela said they don't speak of it because there's nothing to speak of.
Yeah.
And they don't run in the same circles.
You know what? I'm over Sheree. They gave her 3-4 chances at this point.
I will say that
every time.
I guess, you know what? I'm saying Sheree out of nostalgia because I need to be true to myself, because I never cared for Sheree when she was on the show. But now here I am talking about Sheree. What is going on?
Sheree always nostalgia. On the wrong side of the fence. She always is on the wrong side of the fence.
Always.
And you would think she would have learned after the second time of being brought back. She still hadn't learned.
When she was on Kim's side, I said, girl, you have lost the plot.
Kim's side, Marlo's side, like she always on the wrong side of the fence.
What do you think about this? Some people feel like, and Marlo said it herself, that she would have been good. She should not have been given a peach until this season.
I saw another interview where she was talking about she shouldn't have got it at all. And that she didn't want it. Girl,
and why would you have to, girl? But you wanted that. You did a whole thing about in your car with the peach. To me, Marlo, I don't want a housewife that needs the show or wants the show so bad that they're desperation shows.
Yeah, and that they would do anything to anybody. And that's where she messed up when she lied on Candy with the whole situation with the nephew. That was just like, that's why I'm like, these people be losing their mind over just having this little bit of fame. Like, it's that deep for y'all? Because y'all get weird.
Desperate.
And like, life does play a part. Like, God is watching. God is real. I want to say y'all believe in God, but y'all out here doing this wicked mess. Like, y'all weird.
Girl, I said desperation breeds danger, because if you're desperate, you're dangerous.
Yes.
Like, and you're right. Real life does, even though we know we're watching the show, there comes a point, real life does, it could have real life effects on you.
You got to look at yourself in the mirror. Are you comfortable with what you look at before you go to sleep? Like, Brian, how was you able to go to sleep that night after all of that happened, knowing that you had blatantly lied on this girl?
And then said, I may have, the way they all said, she casually was like, oh, maybe she didn't clock it.
Excuse you?
And then to have her faux mother, Jenna, breastfeeding her, like, girl, come on.
Girl.
And then Jenna, we ain't seen you get emotional at all about nothing until all of that happened. And she was crying because how upset Jessel was. I felt for Jessel because, no matter how much you think you know your partner, if I'm watching people on TV say y'all had this discussion, and you're denying it, there may be a small part of you. And like, for me, I would feel horrible, like trying to convince my husband, like, I promise you, especially because we know that they've had their marital issues in the past. She talked about it. So, so he may think she could have said that out of whatever. Like, so for you to make up an entire conversation about, like, oh my gosh, I felt for her in that moment. Like, you could have really caused a rift in somebody's marriage, and for you to cry and be like, I'm sorry. After the fact.
You can't trust nobody that come to the reunion dressed like Mrs. Roper. You just simply can't do it. No. She don't even know who she is. She don't even like literally know who she is. Because I heard that she had just started claiming that she was Black right before filming. Like, because she said, it was something where she said, I now identify as a Black woman. And I was like, okay, all right. There you have it.
You pick us up like a coat and put on because it's cold. Like, when it gets too hot, you try to take it off.
Girl.
When you know how you show up in this world, girl.
Yeah.
Girl, listen, a heat protector don't hate to see you coming because it never comes. Sorry. She pisses me off.
And even with Sai, I gotta say, because Sai on her Instagram, Afro Latina, but you saw her skate around Black stuff.
Yes, she did.
Like, you will see like a little look on her face like that when they was in the pool doing the cast vacation, and it was Brian, look at all the Black girls in the water, and you kind of saw Sai make a nervous look, like, oh, I don't know if I want to say I'm Black.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because I never spoke on it, but it was just something that I kind of felt like a little bit like, yeah. I'm glad you said that. Yes.
Now, I can't. I'm gonna go back and find that episode. It was an episode on her YouTube channel where she showed a picture of her father, and I think her father was Black. Or I think her father was Black, or if he was Dominican and looked Black, I don't know. But I know her mother is, in fact, Puerto Rican, because she always has her aunt on her channel. Yeah, and her aunt and her cousins and stuff like that. And even with her cousins and stuff, you have people that look like us in her family. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know, because I never see her talk about Black issues or anything like that, or even like talk about being Black on her channel. She talks about her kids being biracial, and like her daughter's hair texture and stuff like that. But other than that, you don't really get that from her. She is, in real life, she's best friends with, the singer A. Marie.
Yes. Oh, wow.
She's best friends with her sister, Angela. They are best friends. She's really close with A. Marie. And she has another best friend that she went to school with that is Black. But I think they live out of state. I know Angela lives in Los Angeles. Okay. So in New York, where she lives, you typically only see her hanging around with white girls. Okay. Or it's this one Chinese girl that she hang around with that's an influencer, but she has a Black hairstylist, and she has a person of color do her makeup and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
it's like it's there, but she doesn't like. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you look at her throwback pictures that she likes to, throw out, and she's really been throwing them out here lately. Black girl.
Okay.
Black girl aesthetics from the 2000s with her rap.
She gives me black now looking at her.
Oh, yeah. But I'm talking about,
like black girl. Okay,
yeah.
got you.
She had the hoop earrings, her J's on, her the Nautica coat, the Tommy Hill figure.
Oh, like, okay.
All of that when she was growing up in high school. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, her style has changed because, she's a content creator and she's, under all these brands and stuff like that. So I get it. But yeah, it's like a totally different vibe now.
Okay, got you. Because sometimes I feel like they want to be more appealing to.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
It's always, when you think about this world, I was having a conversation with my family. It's like at the end of the day, they think it still falls at the bottom, but yet they take all of their inspiration from us.
You better speak a word.
Like, at the end of the day, I want to appeal to this. I need to appeal to that. But you can tell where our influences are. And I always say they want our rhythm, but not our blues. They couldn't handle it. So it's just, I had a woman years ago. She was part of a podcast duo, and she's Dominican and Black. And after the George Floyd stuff happened, she came on the podcast and she said, and she lives in an area where there's majority white. She married a majority white college, a PWI, married a white man, whatever. And that's your preference, But what she said was that growing up, her family taught her not to acknowledge her Black side. Don't acknowledge it. You just are Dominican.
That's what a lot of Dominican people I've learned throughout the years. They don't like to identify as Black. And then you do have the ones that do identify with being Black. Same thing with certain Puerto Rican people. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look up what Puerto Rican people are made of,
really is, yeah,
white, Native American, and Black.
Yeah,
they came about.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
it's girl. I said one thing they can know. One thing with Black folks that I love is that you cannot shake our spirit. So no matter what they try to do, no matter how they try to come at us, I just recently learned about the oh my gosh, I forget what it was called, but it was in New Orleans when they didn't want Black women to show their natural hair. So they
I just saw a thing on there too, and they made them wear hair scarves back in the day, and then that came fashionable, and then the Europeans started wearing it.
Yes, and when I said that just goes to we still be minding our business, or doing whatever, but watching these housewife shows and looking at the audiences and the different conversations around Black franchise and why it really shows you a lot that people don't realize it shows about them.
Oh, you get to see where the racist people are at. You see anything on Housewives under a People magazine or certain reality show vlogs or like bravo.com, that's when you're going to see, I don't like Garcel, she needs to go. And
come on, say it.
Oh, you're going to see all of that there. But then if you go on Jasmine Brand or the Shade Room or other little Bravo TV, websites, you'll see the balance between the viewers, and you'll see white people and Black people. But on them other ones, you gonna get it all over on Twitter.
Reality blurb. I said, I'll be reading them comments, girl. I'll be having to stop. Like, let me scroll up because this is crazy.
Yeah, like they downright nasty and racist, honey.
And that's why I was so happy. Doing the podcast was one thing, and following the bigger accounts on Instagram. But what I loved when I really jumped headfirst into YouTube, I was still podcasting, but watching YouTubers. And when I found Black YouTubers, to me, I don't know what, it gave me joy to see Black YouTubers discussing these white shows too. Because it was rare. But
it was rare. I was like, I felt like I was the only one out here for a long time.
Because you're like, oh my God, you watch Beverly Hills? You watch Orange County?
Yeah, because I didn't know it was an audience there. I was like, I'm gonna start reviewing all of them, and I was shocked that there was an audience there.
Yes, and over on Threads, girl, there'll be black women posting, "Where are my Black women that watch blah 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 blah?"
Yeah,
But what really speaks to me is there are a lot of people that want to work with Bravo content creators, which, I mean, that's cool. I get it. Opportunity comes. Yes.
Yeah.
Depending on what it was, I would too, depending on what it was. But there were a lot of, when I would listen to podcasts, it was a lot of white and black podcasters that would, well, not so much the black ones, but that would tap dance around going in, discussing the things that we're picking up on. When I came to YouTube, it was refreshing because it was like, now we get ready to talk. This is what it is.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when Crystal had that issue with Sutton, and Sutton was sitting, kept trying, I want to talk to Crystal. And Crystal was being basically, I don't want to talk to you. So they were on that boat, and Sutton sat in Crystal's face with that face roller, rubbing her. And Crystal had them sunglasses on. And Crystal told her she was acting crazy. When I tell you, I'm going to be honest, the white audience lit Crystal up. The language you're using, mental health advocates would so be upset, told her she was wrong. Mary Cosby stepped on the scene. And those same mental health advocates were now using that same verbiage against Mary. She's crazy. And so I was like, where's that?
They hated Mary. They hated Mary her first season.
Mary. And then I came to YouTube and said, oh, I have found my people. I was listening to all of y'all because it was a balanced review, but I also appreciated, even if you cannot hate a content creator that lets you know, yes, it's going to be biased because it's my opinion. My opinion is on what I'm being presented. So it's going to be biased because it's my opinion. I'm not speaking for the masses. So I appreciate that about y'all on YouTube, is that I would get how y'all really, it felt good to be seen, because sometimes I would feel like, okay, I'm crazy. I'm over here like, I'm talking about.
I was excited once I found you, somebody else that watches the white shows that I could talk to about it, because none of my friends watch the white franchises. So I'm just out here with my audience and I don't talk to them personally.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, another black person I could talk to about these white heifers? Yes.
A couple of my friends, podcasters, black folks, they know who they are. We be in our group chats like saying things, but then, you know what I'm saying? Like the things, like we were calling out Jenny from Salt Lake City before it even came to, but everybody was so focused on Mary, but we knew the feeling.
And once again, that season was crazy, because how could y'all blame Mary? And this lady was verbatimly going after her, threw a drink at her.
I said, God bless that, because that, to me, your reaction would be to throw something back. Or like charge.
This is the thing though with that, and I was happy about it, but I wish that they would have had more of her back in public. But that was the reason why they brought her back season 4, is because they knew that them ladies treated Mary wrong season 3.
Yeah.
They knew that they were using her as a scapegoat because they were not focusing on what needed to be focused on, which was Jen Shaw that season. How are y'all focusing on Mary and her church and this lady over here that's got exposed for scamming all of these elderly people? Then you got this racist lady over here. Like, it didn't make sense. Didn't make sense at all. And it was the smartest decision they could have ever made, because y'all was almost about to get canceled.
Come on.
He wasn't on there.
Come on.
Her and Monica came back and saved that damn show. And I still want justice for Monica, because they did her.
I know dirty. You do.
Did her dirty, and it pisses me off every time. Oh, that made me mad. Oh my God.
There were people that were saying Mary was a coward. She should have went to the reunion, and faced 5 or 6 white women coming at her specifically
about her church with no evidence of nothing.
Nothing. And I've say it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. And Lisa Barlow brought that gentleman on, who, rest in peace, he passed away, to specifically talk bad about Mary's church. So when like me and my friends, my black podcasters, shout out to them, I would find refuge in them and then come to YouTube and get my life watching y'all, because it's refreshing to hear. Because again, a lot of these big Bravo accounts on Instagram, that girl, you see it, like you said, you see it in the comments. I'll be having to, let me back out of these comments, because I'm about to say,
a lot of them have relationships with these women, so they're going to be biased towards them. And then, you know, you got the accounts that are being bribed and stuff by Teresa and all that weird mess that be going on behind the scenes or whatever. And it's only, who do I watch? I don't really watch reviews on the shows. Only people that I watch is Brav Bros. I like those guys, those two white guys.
Oh yeah.
It's this one white girl that wear these glasses. Oh my God, I don't know her name, but I like her opinions. Yeah, she's on YouTube, and I saw her on TikTok though.
Okay.
If I see her on my TikTok, I'm gonna send it to you. Okay. And then I watch Bonnie Scotch Bonnet.
Yes, I love Bonnie.
I like her. I like her a lot, or whatever. So other than that, I don't really watch too many other people's stuff. And then I listen to your podcast. But yeah, because a lot of people be bored, and to be honest, they don't really be going there. They just be dry.
I want because we know there's two sets of kitchen table talks. There's the kitchen table talk that we're gonna give y'all a little bit of it. Yeah, I like to watch those, and then there's the kitchen table talk that we might reserve for us. But I like to see some real, like, this is how we as Black people feel watching these shows,
right? Mm-hmm.
So you can't come talking to me crazy about. There are some things that Garcel did that I didn't agree with and may have called out. But what you not get ready to do is come at Garcel in a way where I don't clock. Oh no, that's not. Somebody said, and shout out to Brooke Ashley. She clocked them. She was doing her Beverly Hills recap live last week. Girl, somebody tried to come in her comments talking about basically Garcel hasn't done anything. Oh man, maybe in your community, but the Black community, she's legendary. And shout out to my boo Carlos. He had posted about Garcel leaving and was like, she's a TV legend. Here, everybody, yes, here comes somebody not Black in the comments talking about, did she do a good job on Housewives? Yes. Was she legendary on Housewives? I said, we're not talking about just Housewives, because he said legendary TV. See, this don't apply to you. So don't come over here.
I don't even know her resume. So sit back and relax. And even outside of the Black community, I'll say that she did a great job, period, because she raised awareness on topics that weren't being discussed on Bravo, on online bullying with teens that her son had to go through with racism and older white women and all of this type, the bots and all of that stuff. Then you had her having to deal with her son having addiction issues and how did her, getting through that. That story that she told about her son knocking on the door, banging on the door when that probably touched so many families that have gone through family members with addiction, her being cheated on by her husband in a public manner, and then having to co-parent with this man, her getting her, I remember when she first started the show and she moved into her house, getting that house, seeing her career skyrocket since being on this show. She used the platform the right way. It's not many women that have come on these Bravo Housewives shows and have used the platform to their benefit. You got Bethany Frankel.
Yeah.
You got now Garcel. And who else that ain't dependent on the check no more? Candy Burris, of course, but she already came in rich. You got those few people. All of these other women literally are dependent on the check, or they're dependent on the fame. And she isn't dependent on either one of them. She launched this platform to get her on The Real, and now she's doing all of these movie producing and directing for Lifetime and everything else that she got going on. Like, she flipped it and did it the right way. I'm pretty sure she's smart with her money, investing in it. She bought that beach house or whatever, beautiful home or whatever. I don't give a damn what neighborhood it is. It's hers.
It's hers. And somebody in my comments brought up a good point. Bose, as someone who lost a home in a fire, and you sitting up there laughing at talking, and Erica, let's be clear, Gina from OC was in a casita as well. So let's not act like.
But you can't talk about nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
Renting. You're renting, ma'am.
And your storyline was you redecorating not even the entire home. It wasn't even a storyline about renovation. It was felt wallpaper and a sectional, ma'am.
And your mama got to sleep in the bed with you when she come to visit. You can't talk about nobody.
Girl, if you don't.
Excuse you?
Yeah.
Like, you need to be happy they brought your ass back on Broadway for that little stint. But other than that, what you got going on? They tried to give you your own spinoff. It flopped.
Girl, her Marshall. What did Nene call Porsha? Said you're her Marshall.
When you had that Vegas residency, people were literally paying $7 to see you. Flop. You ain't had a song out since you started this show. Yep. Like, girl, you can't talk about nobody. You mad because she freaked it the right way and went on about her business that she could leave and not be pushed out.
And what's so funny is and I believe it was, and I'm going to be petty and go back on my threads and find it. I believe it was a white follower who got in my comments and said Garcel was fired. She had a terrible reunion and she was fired. And we just got it confirmed. I didn't even believe it anyway, but look what happened. We just got it confirmed on Watch What Happens Live that she quit.
Thank you. And like she said, Andy told her she can come back anytime she wants to. Anytime. And she had already said, first of all, she already gave a hint that she probably only going to take a year off. If that is the case, she already said in her goodbye speech, this isn't goodbye, it's I'll see you later. I want to be with my sons for their last year of school and the things that I got coming up this year. She said, she even alluded to the fact that you might see me again in a minute. So I could see her saying, you know what, I need a break after this season. Let me take it off and then I'll come back. If that's what she chooses to do. She might pull a Candy and don't want to come back, period.
And be done, yeah.
But yeah, I would love for her to take off for a year and then come back and cuss everybody the fuck out and leave again. That's what I want from her. That's what I need for her. Like,
yeah. And Erica, see, you should have been nice because maybe you could have auditioned to be in one of her that she's producing and directing.
Because you could never.
Could
and would never. How about why we ain't seen you? You such a babe. You such a sex symbol. Why we ain't never seen you on a date?
Come on. And then for her to say, I did show my life, what I went through. No, see, the news, the chatter showed, so you had no choice.
Exactly. This is our third time in the 7-8 years you've been on this show seeing your mama?
Girl.
We just saw your son because he was involved in that damn case. Then everybody saw who he is now. So ain't no point in even hiding your son no more. So is your son gonna ever come on the show?
Right.
We don't even hear you talk about that little nigga. Like, what the fuck? Like, I be forgetting you even got a kid.
When I saw Garcel, when she was telling a story about her son and crying, you know, somebody had a nerve to say, she's talked about her son for seasons. And we haven't talked about Erica Jane for the last 2 seasons. Other than we haven't talked about Kyle and her marriage for the last, like all of these women, like, are you kidding me?
Child.
And I said, that's why we say you can tell, like you said, under the People's and the other certain accounts, you can see versus the accounts that support Garcel. Girl, Bose, you might have to count your days, honey, because I'm just like you said, if this reunion goes the way
like I said, they already eating her up.
Yeah.
This reunion is going to be her downfall. She came in, according to the people, having a great year. Everybody was rooting for her. But what happened on Watch What Happens Live and at this reunion is going to be her downfall. I hope she got a strong mentality to deal with all the hate that's about to come her way because they're about to eat her alive.
It's a different level.
Eat her alive. Yeah. So I wonder, will she switch it up for season 2 after everything and all the bad press that she's getting?
Oh,
because the bad press has been ringing ever since this episode aired. Everybody been talking about it on Twitter and all the comment section. Hell, you even had the shade room and the people talking about it today.
And they don't even get into those shows.
No, and these black people are ragtagging her ass, and you got the white people coming after her, and everybody is saying that, you know, y'all was mean-spirited, mean girl behavior, people calling her out for being a black woman, letting another white woman go against another black woman for her being snarky and mean. You know, girl, they turn them up. They are turning them up, and I am applauding them. I'm applauding it.
I said,
I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like her. And please change your hair.
I literally said to a friend of mine via voice, I said, I was trying to be easy because I mentioned the wigs one time and then I stopped. I said, I was letting her live.
All that hot ass hair. And that's her new business venture is selling wigs. Yes. Who buying it in the United States? Now they might buy that shit over there in Africa, but ain't nobody wearing their hair like that over here. We looking at you like you crazy. All that hot ass hair on your head. Looking a mess. A mess. I be like, damn, I know you hot. Do you got a fan underneath her? No lace, no nothing. Wigs don't be parted right. It's just all fat, looking like Dolly Parton. Looking like a contestant off RuPaul's Drag Race. Like she got on 3 wigs at a time. It's like, girl, what are we doing here? You can't dress. Just country. All them gaudy ass outfits she wore this season. She had one good outfit, and that was at the party, her first episode. That gown she wore to that little Med Gala thing that Sutton threw. Other than that, she was the mess all season. And this bitch worth $30 million. The pieces were not hitting at all.
We're not piecing.
Country ass heifer.
I do want to title episode that. I'm not going to, but that would be fun.
I feel bad for her because she about to be all kind of African booty scratchers.
Oh yeah, they coming. They coming.
They are coming for her. Yeah, like I said, she gonna wish her ass stayed over there and covered America because she ain't ready for the wrath of these damn fans because they are crazy. I love it was this one blogger today that did like this tribute post to Garcel and all of the great moments that she's had throughout her time being on the show and the bad moments or whatever. And like everybody said, everybody's pretty much saying like 90% of what I'm reading is she was a class act. She was too good for this show. She did her thing and da. So a lot of people are really sad to see her go. So she made her impact on this show. I'm really proud of what she did.
Me too. And what she brought awareness to, like you said.
Yeah.
As well. Because it means nothing if you're wearing Black designers and bringing Black folks on. Because I'd like to see that from Bose, right? Having Black people cater your thing. If we find out that at the end of the day, that's all for show.
Yep, it's all a front.
It's even worse. You might as well have just had it went the other way in the first place.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Keisha, I have kept you here. I could spend half a work day. I could spend a whole work day with you.
Baby, because like I said, we talk, baby. We talk, okay?
Yes. Please, if for some reason they don't know, please let the people know where they can find you, which I'm sure if they follow me, they follow you. But
you can find me on my YouTube channel, Color Me Pink. That's PYNK. I also have a second channel called Pop Culture Digest. Right now, I'm just throwing some content over there. It's not what the channel is really going to be based on, but I got some good content over there, so you can check that out. Also, you can find me on social media at Keisha Irvin on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And on Amazon if you want to buy a book.
Yes. Can you please say the name of your books, please?
Girls Too Mean to Count.
Oh, you know what? Just type in Keisha's name and I'll have it in the description and you can find her over on Amazon.
Yes.
Like I said, she is a published author. I believe a best-selling published. Let me preface it with that. Best-selling public.
Oh, and you can check out my film, Paper Heart. It's available right now on Peacock and Tubi.
Make sure y'all check it out. Make sure y'all let us know what y'all thought about the episode. Be respectful.
Yeah. The block is hot. The block is hot.
Block, and block. Hide comment because I want you to see what we're saying about you. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things, and we will talk to y'all later. See y'all.
Bye.